Got another quick show for you. Quick show. It'll be a bit quicker. We're going to skip some grinding. But we do have a nice show for you guys this weekend. Of what is our show this weekend, Noobtree?
This is The Last Remnant Remastered on PS5. It's a game that came out for Xbox 360 in 2007, but it's been remastered a couple times for PC and console. And it's typically going to be around a 5 to 6 hour run, but today it's going to be around 4 hours because we're skipping that grind.
All right. Let me take a look. I don't think we have anything big coming up on the horizon. Just reminding everybody that we do have our event coming up in nearly a month at this point. We'll be going live on the 17th of May. And if you are still interested in coming, we do still have our event registration and hotel booking open. And just as important, prize submissions are still open as well. So if you feel like you have anything that would be prize worthy, please feel free to submit. We would very happily take that. And we would love to see you guys on site. If not, hopefully you guys can enjoy that event. And for now, let me just kick it over to Noobtree and let him show you guys how good this game is.
All right. So for this run, time starts when I hit OK. So I'll go ahead and give a quick countdown. 3, 2, 1, OK. And we're going to start our adventure without our main character. We're going to do a quick tutorial battle with some characters that are going to be around for a while. It just tells you how to do a few things here and there. Battle controls. You push buttons. So we want to turn on turbo because otherwise this run would be about 20 minutes too long. And here we go. We're seeing our semi-protagonists fighting a bunch of animals and beastmen. Yeah, it's check out the music in the background. It's going hard. So one cool thing about this game, starting out, you have no idea what's going on. You just hit buttons and things occur, some text goes by, and you're like, oh, cool, this guy has an eye patch and a gun now, and a bigger gun with that gun. So it gives you no clue about what the combat is actually going to be doing, what this effect even does yet. You assume it just wipes the battlefield. That's basically what it does. It does a pretty decent amount of damage early on. But it hits everyone on the battlefield instead of just the one-by-one fights we just saw there.
Decent damage. From something that big? Okay. Okay.
Well, you'll see here in a little while why that's considered decent damage. We'll see an actual number from that weapon. And then we'll see some damage that we do without that weapon for field wiping abilities. So, but here we are with Rush. We have Emma, who shows up in our party. At this point in the story, we have both fallen down into a hole. We have no idea what's going on. Emma's telling us, hey, go over there and sneak up on that guy and attack him. And we're like, why? We're just going to do it.
Let's do this.
And it's so Emma can give Rush a tutorial of how to fight.
Because I need to micromanage how you do combat. That's why.
Come on, let's kick some ass.
Ah, that's fun. We missed. That's not great. You're not supposed to miss during the tutorial fight at all. So great luck already.
Show is already bearing its fangs.
I think I've seen that once out of like several hundred runs, so we're gonna have a great time today. But you noticed before that battle, I did some menuing and I turned off some arts. It's because I want Emma to do certain specific things throughout the run. And when you have all of a character's abilities on, they just basically can choose from any of those abilities randomly. And we want to kind of force our characters to do specific things so we can manage the battles a lot easier. Emma, right now, we're going to keep her doing dual wield because that is her best skill set. Rush is going to go Super Saiyan and punch that raptor to death. And then we're going to get some cutscenes.
Nothing like watching a sword fighting anime where the sword fighter throws his sword away just to punch the bad guy in the face.
Yeah, with glowing green eyes and hair. So that was the world map. The world map's a little bit different. It's not like free roam or anything. You don't get to like run around all of the maps, but you do get to run around some areas that lead you to different areas. So like right now we're in town, but to get to the different street, we have to use Google Maps.
This is gonna be a show I'm locked in the whole time, huh?
And just like any RPG, as a 16-year-old protagonist, we got to go to the bar to get information about where the castle is, so we can talk to the Marquis David here. David, we will call Dave sometimes. He's going to ask us to do some investigation. You have two choices. Casually, you can pick whichever one you want. In the speedrun, we go to Rebellion Ruins because this gives us access to mystic arts, specifically Spark. Spark is going to be what we focus rush on for the entire duration of the game up until the grind, because that gives us access to really good powers. And we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're going to see Kermit the Pogus here, being our friend, helping us in this little ruin. It's going to teach us how to use Spark. We get this orb. We run through here. And we will do our best to avoid any fights we come across. For multiple reasons. One, you want to go fast, so fights take a while. And taking a while is the opposite of going fast. The second reason is the battle rank system in this game is similar to most Saga games. The more fights you take, the harder the enemies will get. Because they level up alongside your battle rank. If we were to take a few fights, it wouldn't really affect the battle rank too much in the grand scheme of things, but 2 battle ranks earlier than you really want it to be, will typically make a boss fight way harder than you need it to be if you don't have the right skills. And we're not going to have the right skills for about an hour. Alright, so I did pick up 2 chests. One was kind of a safety chest, get some herbs so I can have some free healing early on. And the other one requires me to pick up that Slayer Stone to unlock that door, which I don't know why it's locked from the outside, and these people are in here. I don't know how that happened, but we're here to stop that. No more locking doors from the wrong side. Okay. We're going to play this a little safe. Okay, there is a thing I am looking for in this battle. We didn't get it in the first turn. There are things called critical triggers in this game. Critical triggers will pop up occasionally, giving you an option to pick one of 6 buttons. And if you hit multiple of them in a row, you end up getting a guaranteed critical hit at the end of it. The reason we want them to show up is because you can turn them off manually in the menu, but that takes too long, and getting one to show up in battle is much quicker. You can just hit your top button, open the menu, turn off all your little menus there, and we didn't get it at all, so that's cool. But not a big deal. We will run into it eventually, and then the game will give us a little tutorial about it, and we'll be able to turn it off. But for now, we're just going to ignore all those people.
Right.
Because this is a speed run, and we're not trying to be friendly with everyone, because I want to go fast. They'll understand. But everyone there is safe now, from whatever was going on. Now we're talking to David, and he's like, hey, there's like a ring of people traders in this cave. Take Blacktail with you. And this is the game's version of the combat tutorial. Telling you, hey, you want to get as many bad guys at once into a fight so you can get more levels. Because, yes, the game will reward you for fighting more bad guys at once, but it's also incredibly dangerous, and you're more likely to die. And we'll go over that leveling part a little bit during the small part of the grind we show off. But for now, our big fish friend Blacktail is telling us, hey, we gotta go through this cave, try to fight everything, here's a map, and we're gonna not fight anything except for the boss. Excuse me, bugs. Generally, I try to skip this chest, but it is free herbs, so we will take it. And we will come to a boss fight. Alright. So Blocker tells us to use combat arts. Physical attacks are what they're weak against. We ignore him. Because Blocker will show us why he needs to be ignored here momentarily. Because he will not make it. He is going to go down this turn. Pretty quickly. He didn't get any damage out. Still haven't gotten the critical trigger yet, which is strange, but no big deal.
Is there a chance you can like skip it long enough that you just don't get a tutorial?
No, it will. Like we could wait till the end of the game for the first one to show up, and it'll give us the tutorial.
Gotcha.
There it is. Complain and you shall receive. So we're gonna set it to automatic because when it's going fast like this, you're more likely to miss it. And automatic is just less button
Just
presses.
auto input, yeah.
One
No
good
need-
thing about it not showing up... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No need to destroy your wrists.
Yeah.
Right.
One good thing about it not showing up right away is we got enough hits in without crits to get Spark level 2, which is a slight damage boost for Spark. So we get a little bit of extra power moving forward. It just... We trade time for power in that situation, unfortunately.
So we do have a question from YouTube chat. We were kind of discussing this a little bit beforehand. They're asking about the Steam version and it being delisted, if that was ever ran, and what's your opinions on the best ways to play or run this game?
Yeah, so unfortunately Square Enix did delist The Last Remnant from Steam because it turned its focus to the console remaster versions. So it is currently not available to purchase on PC via Steam or GOG or anything like that. The console version is still really good to run. It does have a sprint button that allows you to make up for some of the lost loading time that you would see on consoles. And there are several runs on speedrun.com for the PC version specifically. In fact, I think I'm the first one who actually submitted a run for the console version. Yeah, their PC version was the most prominent one due to the use of the TLR planner. But since we can't do that anymore, I think it's typically on sale right now for the Switch and the PlayStation for about 10 to 15 bucks. And even if you don't speedrun it, this game is wonderful to play casually. There are a lot of different characters you can get that I won't be able to show off. There's a crafting mechanic we barely even delve into in this game. Multiple formations you can find, multiple monsters and rare monsters you can find and fight. It's just a wonderful time overall, in my opinion. And well worth the price tag, too. The music in this game is fantastic. It can get hard if you don't pay attention. But yeah, definitely either version that you have or are comfortable with, pick it up. Okay, so we skipped a lot of encounters there and grabbed a chest. That chest had a little bit of money and some herbs in it. Plus it told us about the time shift mechanic, which we are going to ignore for a little bit. I don't like that we didn't finish them off that first turn, but we're going to keep going. Let's see. Yeah, we're fine. But we get our first kind of boss fight here that the whole crew is going to be involved in. We could have kind of messed with the menu for our team right now, but we chose not to because everyone's kind of doing their own thing and they're fine. Alright, so this group should go down. We should do a restore. So, one of my favorite things about this combat system, it is turn-based. I've always loved turn-based since I was a kid. But you have 5 units max each union that you have, and they kind of all do their own thing. And you can kind of combine them to make them do better things together. You have your combat arts, like the devils do that Emma just did. Ooh, cool, we got 2 captures, nice. And you get mystic arts, which level up differently, but if you use several of the same types of mystic arts at once, you can have a very big explosion occur on the battlefield and hurt everybody. And everyone gets a chance. Most everyone gets a chance to learn unique arts, weapon arts, anything based on the actual weapon type you use. It's just a whole bunch of different mechanics there that you don't have to follow the same path every single time you play it. If you decide, hey, I want Rush to swing out a hammer, he can swing a hammer. If you want Rush to cast magic, you can cast magic. Rush can be a ninja, a healer, a support tank, whatever you want him to be. So you're going to see a lot of people on the battlefield pretty much for the last half of this game. And it's going to look like, what is this? Is this like... No, I don't want to talk to you. Is this Total War? What is it? So, we're going to have fun with it. Alright, so... I bought 3 ores from that shop, so I could turn it into our guilds. We now have access to guilds and recruitable units. 3 ores will allow me to recruit a specific unit in the next town we go to. It's pretty cheap, easy to get early on, and it makes the first part of the these next battles we're coming up to a little bit easier to manage. Yeah, Ordainer, that's a good point, Magnus. Ordainer is, you have to master pretty much every single weapon class to a certain level. There are a lot of weapons in the game. So, while it's cool to have, and an achievement in its own right, it is, I don't know if I have enough time to grind that much. So here we talk to a lady at the bar. She gives us a side quest. It is our introduction to side quests. We have to do that quest in order to unlock the next city. We'll do 2 more side quests in this run because I do plan on recruiting Jorgen. And Jorgen is just one of my favorite characters in the game. Voiced by Kyle Hebert, has some funny things to say. Also very customizable as a unique leader compared to most others. If you turn in certain items to Jorgen, he can be an adventurer, a sage, a general, all sorts of different things. So you can kind of make Jorgen into what you want before you get him. And here we have a character called Mr. Diggs that is showing up at this shop, taking things, I guess. And if you talk to that guy again, he's like, well, nothing to do but go to the bar. So we're going to go meet him at the bar. Okay, so I typically like to go in here and grab our 3rd unit before going into the bar. We're going to grab Rebecca. And we are going to do our first menu for the Union.
Leave it to me.
Get that tutorial out of the way. It'll be much easier to deal with later. So there are some casual runs that, if they do low BR, they'll go for Simri instead. And to get Simri, you have to have like a 10 chain, which you can achieve on the last dungeon we went to in Dilmore by getting in 1 fight before the boss fight. Simri is a pretty good unit to go for. However, he tends to take a lot more damage in the next boss fight than what I want our Union to take. So we stick with Rebecca because it tends to take less mystic damage, plus also helps you focus on using mystic attacks instead of going for weapon attacks. But now we're taking Mr. Diggs to the cave. We need to find some light metal. But we don't have any digging materials. Mr. Diggs is the digging material. He is a pitchfork. He is a scythe. An underwater bucket. Whatever you need him to be, he's there for you and getting your materials. And now he is on our team forever. And now that we've got him, we talk to this little soldier guy. And we leave. We go back to the castle. He could form a bucket of water. Yeah, I like to think he just goes underwater and cups his hands and brings the water back up with him. He's like, look what I got. Alright, so David and Emma have decided we're not dressed for battle, so they give us sneakers and a belt. And they join our team. And we go to one of the more fun spots in the speedrun. Blacktail. Now this part of the speedrun is a little bit tricky. This is the last time we have like really no party members that we can control, because David, Torgal, Pagus, Emma, Blockter, and all their friends will join as guest unions. We have no control over what they do. So they could literally just run around beating up people without even helping us, and if Rush dies, it's game over. So we have to play a bit safe in this fight, and kind of sit back and let them take the first turn. And then on the second turn, that's when we kind of start moving in, because they've kind of become the main target.
Yeah, this is our big chance. Come on. I'll show you the strength of our
Now the focus for this fight specifically, we want to get Jaeger down as quickly as possible. Most of the time we see David or Torgal take out another union, and that'll get a reinforcement, and we'll be more prone to attacks. But if we get Jaeger down quickly, David's next turn will be 100% to use Gaibold, which is that big gun that we saw early on. Now it looks like we got... Okay, that was actually really quick. We got Jaeger down before we even did anything. And the next turn, no matter what happens this turn, as long as David survives, he'll shoot a giant gun at people. Got confused by doggy noises. So I'm going to make Rush do Omni Strike to make sure he just doesn't get hit. We don't need to do it, and it's a little bit of a time loss, but it just guarantees I survive before anyone attacks, or before he gets to attack. And then we've destroyed most of the people on the field, which is a great time for David to come in with Giant Gun after everybody's almost wiped out. But we'll take it. Alright, 7,000 damage. And we did not get lucky drops, so this fight coming up might be a little rough, but we'll make it. Typically, Jaeger can drop either a deluxe bracelet or a combat halberd. We want to see the combat halberd because it makes us do a little bit more damage and have more defense. And the deluxe bracelet gives us about 5% more HP, but it's no big deal. It makes it about 10% less likely we win on the first fight, but this fight is notorious in speedruns. It's just... Fiery Idol is not fun. Fiery Idol is gross. I think if Fiery Idol had a job in real life, it would be like tax collector. And yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a safety save here. And I say safety save, but it's literally part of the run to actually save here, because you're almost guaranteed to die at least one time in this fight. And while there is an autosave feature in this game, the autosave would take you to the beginning of that cave. You just have to run to that last part of the cave again. Okay. Now, we see if the game likes us today. Okay, game does not like us yet. So far, not a great first turn, especially with Torgal getting targeted by everyone. Torgal's gonna go down. Maybe not. Thank you. They actually healed me. Awesome. So this is not a bad turn one, all things considered. It's not a great one, but we could push through. Thank you for the luck, Firebird Lover. And not debt collectors, yeah. Good job, good job. Right, we get a flank attack, so that's good. The reason that's good, if you look at the top, you'll notice how it says allies on the left, enemies on the right, and morale in the middle. Morale is the like limit break mechanic of this game. The more morale you have, the more damage you do and the less damage you take. And the vice versa is true. Whenever the enemies have max morale, you take more damage and deal less damage. We want that morale to go as high as possible for us, because moves like these will be less likely to take us out. That character individually went down, so we're gonna hope that doesn't go badly. We like seeing Desperate Will, because that means the boss can't use his super move at the end of the turn. So it is very possible we get through this fight without seeing the Inferno insignia that everyone hates. So, as bad as the fight started out, we made it, and we might be good to go. Both guest unions are alive, minus 1 unit, and Rush can now just kind of chill there, which is what you want to do. You can go in to try to be risky and do some damage if you want, but if Inferno Signia gets off and you have less than 600 HP, you're probably going to not have a good time. And now we get to see how it hurts. So that's about half of our HP, a little more. Yeah, that's once you get to a certain part of the game, you can kind of make unbeatable teams if you have the correct setups.
Hey, look what I got.
I don't like the oral commands we got there, but that's fine. But yeah, you have a team that's set up to tank. They'll never die. You have a team that's set up to do all magic. They'll hit everything on the field. And then you have your combat arts teams ready to just smack people in the face if they get too close. So we do have low morale. So this is a bit scary. Never mind, we win. GG.
It's always that last second, right? You're like, we might just... Oh, wait, we won. Never mind.
Yeah, and it gave me a really bad command because it forced me to have to go in with Rush, which I don't want to do. If Rush goes down, like I said, that's game over. But it worked out really well. Math was mathing for us on that situation. All right. So now they have left our party. It's just Rush and his friends now. We go to the bar. Oh, there's somebody outside asking to talk to us. Hey, go back and talk to David in the castle. And more cutscenes. There you are. Time to skip this cutscene. And then they'll join our team again. That is Rush's sister, Irina. We will see her later on as well. She's very integral to the story. And now we have access to more units, more unions, and more stuff. Alright, now we get to go to the Ivory Peaks in a little bit. We have to pick up a very important item in Blacktail. If you are speedrunning this game, you know why this is important. If you're not, you should still get this item. Because this chest right here has 7,200 gold, which is super a lot early on in the game. And we're picking up something called the Samarion. The Samarion gives you extra Mystic Arts experience and extra weapon arts growth. So, our main focus is for Mystic Arts. If you want to learn level 3, level 4, level 5 Spark much quicker, definitely equip this on Rush. It is a huge boost to your leveling. And it does not let you grind properly without it. Okay, let's hope this giant bug doesn't pop out from underground. It did not. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to grab this chest for like a little safety bit of money. And we're going to hope that bird doesn't change course. Yes, this game tells you nothing about the level up system. It just says, hey, use your abilities and stuff will happen probably. But yeah, Mystic Arts and Combat Arts level up differently. Same with Item Arts. item and weapon arts, combat arts, they'll level up as you use them regardless. Whoops, went back in there. Mystic arts require you to get what's called a mystic chance. You might see it every now and then before the grind, where a little white sparkle appears around Rush or other characters when they use an attack. That's called a mystic chance. You have a 5 to 15% chance to get one of those. And then when you get one, you have an 80% chance of getting a level up in something if you have the experience points for it. If you don't have the experience points, you have like a 0.5% chance, I think, to just get the level up anyway. So, if you like math, you should play this game. That's basically what the system is telling you. Alright, and now we get a couple of cool things that we're going to equip. We got the Wayfarer's Ward, which is a little boost to our AP. The Laraj Princeps are going to be for Torgal. Torgal is our cat friend with 4 arms and 4 swords, and he's going to equip the 2 of the swords that we just got. So we got a little bit of a lore break here. We went to the wrong spot, that's okay. But we're coming to Illusion for reasons. Basically, we need to find out what's going on with Rush's sister. We found out that there are some people using the Academy as a front to do evil stuff, and they have kidnapped Rush's sister. But as luck would have it, our parents work for the Academy. So we're going to go see them and see if we can find anything out. Unfortunately, they're not home. So we kind of just gotta leave. Yeah, they're out busy doing Academy stuff. But while we're walking around, we hear news about someone called the Conqueror, who is going around doing stuff that isn't really that great. So we decide to stick around a bit. We're gonna go check out the Holy Lands, or the Sacred Plains, if you will, or Sacred Lands, sacred things. While David goes and talks to the Congress, Duker, Mayan, and some other people. So David's gonna leave us alone, and we're gonna be like, hey, let's go check out the Remnant here, the Ark. That'd be a cool thing to do. Nothing bad could happen there. And when we get there, we find out, we find the Conqueror has already gotten here and has hurt a few people and has bound this Remnant the Ark to them, which no one has ever done before. He did not have permission, but he had the power. And we get teleported to like this little thing here. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool.
Don't you love that? I picked up Dragon Quarter recently, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the story is. It's Breath of Fire, I guess. But we turn into a dragon.
But that's bad. That's the cool part of the game, but it's bad.
Yeah.
So now we're in one of the most visually confusing parts of the game for me. There are a lot of moving parts here. And it's just like, can you not? There's no need. Just lift up a bridge and I'll go forward. But the game's like, nah, we want to show how cool the Unreal Engine was. This was Unreal Engine 3 back when it got released, and now it runs on 4. Mm-hmm. Funny thing is, this is the least confusing version of this map. So I have no idea where I'm at. The confusing version is a very short one. It's just, when you see it, I'll let you know beforehand if you get agita or vertigo very easily. Maybe look away about 2 hours in. No flashy lights, just really confusing like patterns occur. But yeah, we are here, and we are walking through somewhere. And apparently this is normal for everyone in game because they don't even mention the walls. There's like, cool, found a big old giant door. Magnus, you are correct. Thank you for correcting me on that. The Conqueror bound it really quick in the 2 possible days of the year that it's able to be bound. So that's why everybody was like, what the heck's going on here? We get inside that white room, and we find out that Rush has been there before. He remembers being a little kid and his mom talking to him. He doesn't know why that's important. The Conqueror shows up, talks to them a little bit. They find out that Duke Ermine's like, okay, cool, we can help you guys find the Academy people. Also, they find out that Rush's dad is in the catacombs underneath the church. So instead of not doing anything like they told us to, we're going to do stuff. We're going to go to the catacombs. And just like intrepid heroes we are, we're going to leave immediately. And David's going to be mad at us about it. Because the way this game works, there are tiers of recruitable characters that you get throughout the game. However, you can't unlock the next tier until certain story moments. And that one, we had to wait until after we get into the catacombs for us to recruit some people. So we're going to recruit Nethos, Phylos, and Hendrickson, if I can hit the buttons right. And we're going to make our first real party. So this is going to be... we're going to have Rebecca, Pagus, and Nethos. This is going to be Aerovathlon, Torvald, Blocker, Emma.
You have chosen well.
Alright. So now we can actually get into a fight and not worry about losing. Maybe I should go straight to the catacombs. That's what I should do. But yeah, we have to wait until that point so we can get the best characters for this part of the game. Now, there are no real required fights for bosses, but there are 2 spots where we have to fight some pretty tough little beasties. It's going to be those little guys running around, Albixidi. They're kind of not alive. And they're kind of resistant to magic. So we're obviously going to use magic on them. Alright. We are in the catacombs. There is a very unique mechanic to this dungeon only in the game that I feel like they could have expounded upon it a little bit more in other areas. Oh yeah. We have to grab some stuff. But we'll talk about that other mechanic in a bit. What we're doing here is we're grinding for shadow metals. We need 2 shadow metals. If we don't find them here, that's fine. But we got them. There's another place later on that we're guaranteed to go to that gives a higher percentage of those drops. And we need the shadow metals for a guild quest. I accidentally grabbed 2 of them. This will be fun. Okay, let's see here. We're going to do that.
Let's kick some A. You're through.
So we only want to do those fights 1-on-1 instead of 2 chain links. Because, as you notice, we start out with really low morale. That's not great for our team. We're going to take damage. And they're going to flank attack us and probably wipe out Rush. We have no way to revive. And Rush losing EXP is not great. But we should be able to survive with Torgal's team. We're not going to worry too much about the losing Rush here, because life goes on. We might get a reset, though. Yeah,
Seems
that's
like
fine.
it might be better to just get the reset, yeah.
Alright. We'll take the autosave here.
Autosave my beloved.
The reason
I'm
went
not
ahead and
even
let that
joking,
go-
dude. Like, I ran Final Fantasy 16. That thing autosaves every time you stub your toe. I switched back to older games, and I'm like, I hate this.
Autosave is a fantastic feature they added to the remastered and PC versions.
Okay.
After every battle, and every time you go into a different area in a dungeon, it autosaves for you. So, if you mess up somewhere, you don't lose a lot of time. But the bad thing about this is, we have to redo our little diggy thing to get the shadow metal. And we got it. It just took a little extra time. So, but yeah, that's why you want to be very careful with your movement. I just wanted to show off how painfully RNG heavy the first part of this game is. if you mess up a little bit. But this fight should be super fine. We're good to go.
That's going to be my battle cry during the Dragon Quarter race. Like, look, I just want to show you guys that anybody can do this.
Yeah, this is a showcase. I'm showcasing all the bad stuff too. But yeah, in this part of the game, for some reason, these Albic CD love attacking Rush. They don't attack anyone else. They'll just go straight for Rush's Union, and they hit really hard. So we do want Rush to survive. He's still gonna get focused. It doesn't matter. They just like, oh, you want to heal? No. But then Torgal comes to save us, and we're like, yay. That doesn't do Spark. That doesn't either, so we'll do that. All right. We unfortunately learned Knee Splitter for Rush. It's not the end of the world, but we don't want it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off.
Let's do this.
And we are going to take this much easier fight that only has one person in it. Or one Union.
Come on, let's kick some A.
There is their attack where they throw the bones they found scattered around the floor. I'm going to assume that they're all, what's the word? Plaster? Plaster of Paris. Alright, and now we can progress through our dungeon. Hooray!
Yeah, I do appreciate chat. Let's kick some A. I'm like, I've heard other naughty words from this game, and they're like, A is too much. We're gonna have to censor that one.
Yeah, I don't know if that was they do say some other words that are pretty a little bit less tame than the A word, if you will. Nothing too absurd, but definitely not PG. But yeah, Johnny Young Bosch just decided to say let's kick some A in the office instead, and they went with it.
Right. I mean, it does kind of cut out the character a little bit separately from everybody else, where it makes their own, gives them their own kind of flavor, where they're not just swearing like everybody else for no particular reason. Yeah, 90s teen.
Yeah, Rush definitely has his own identity in this game.
Yep, that's slow. That's really slow.
This is the that's the mechanic I'm talking about. This dungeon is the only one I have ever seen have that slow mechanic. There are some enemies that can slow you down, which definitely makes sense that they can do that, but this just shows up in two parts of this dungeon, and you're like, why? I don't want it. I can't do anything. Just let me go.
There's so many other things I could do that would actually be productive that could replicate this slowness. Like baking cookies or something, and then at least I get cookies out of it. This I just have to sit here and wait.
Also, do you like cutscene?
We're free!
This ladder requires a cutscene. It cuts off 3 seconds of the screen, and it comes back to where you're one step higher than you were before the screen faded away. Thanks, Square Enix. But yeah, at that point, we stopped to get a treasure chest. Typically, you won't see that in any percent runs, but we're recruiting Jorgen today. And that chest gives us the money that makes it safer for us to recruit him without having to budget too much or go too far out of the way. Here we are, going slow again. More bugs that we walk nearby, and it doesn't matter because for some reason they don't notice us.
Whenever I hear that in a random encounter, I'm just like, please don't let this be the time. Like, oh yeah, the bug finally decided to notice me. It's only been like a decade of playing this. Took them long enough.
So there's a guy over here that's gonna jump scare me. Hi.
I love the pre-jump scare where he was clipping through the door.
Yeah, I've had that happen once where I open the door and suddenly he's in my face, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's a fight. Like it's gonna happen.
Spoiler,
so seeing it beforehand was
waiting for you. Yeah.
They'll never see me.
It's a random encounter moment for sure.
So this little group of CD, we have to fight all 4 of them before we can progress. They're guarding the door that's behind them that happens to be blocking us from seeing our dad. So we have to kind of say goodbye to them. It's kind of sad. They seem like they could be good party members, if you ask me. They're very tough. Alright. Couple more battles.
Plenty of power left in these old bones.
Let's do this.
Let's see. So a few bits of lore while we're going through this combat about Rush and his family. They're from an island that you never go to in this game. You hear him talk about it, I think it's called Ulam. Early on. It never really gets mentioned again after that. But Rush's parents work at the academy here. And we're going to take these two because we should be okay at this point. Knock on wood. Rush and Arena just decided to go visit them, and the first place they stop is a forest that's in the middle of the battlefield, and they get separated. Which is why you shouldn't let teenagers plan your trips or vacations, because you'll end up in the middle of a battle between beastmen and a kingdom with a guy with an eye patch.
These foes won't be an easy
And a giant gun.
Keep it together.
I mean, or you can just bring adults along and they can play Nan Cat on loop for 10 hours and get kicked out of the car.
We won't talk about that. We won't mention that at all.
Those long, insightful pre-stream chats that we have before the run.
So we did survive this fight quite handily. Bad guys were not strong. Like, all it took was 2 more fights for us to be able to handle these enemies. The equivalent of 6 of these guys made us powerful enough to take out 6 of these guys.
There's still plenty of power left in these
And we
old
are now done with the
bones.
catacombs. We'll open this door. We find our father staring at a picture of us. Then he knocks everything off the table. It's actually a hologram of us. And he decides, hey, I'm going to come with you. Let's go find your mom. I know where she is. And then Wagram shows up, possesses our dad. He goes into a coma. Emma's like, hey, let's go to the mines. Just me and you, no one else.
Oh yeah, this seems legit.
Yeah, because it has to be just
on
us.
fog.
And for those who are speedrunning this, most cities you go into will have this little intro scene and dungeons. This is the only one that you can skip that on, and I forget half the time I play this game that I can skip that, because it looks just like any other intro scene to the dungeon. But, yeah, now we are in the mines. Be ready for a bit of grunting, in case you didn't catch the grunting. We're gonna grab this little chest over here because it contains a pretty darn good sword for this early in the game. We're gonna ignore those ghosts, they don't exist. There was a sparkle back there. If you missed the shadow metals early on, you can grind that, or dig into that to get your shadow metals that you need. Still recommend safety saving, just in case. Those guys like to block this door too, so them not being there is wonderful luck. Children do yearn for the mines. These mines are actually closed. I don't know why. Probably the monsters. That's my guess. Alright, so
Ask
we
the
have
answer in 5 seconds.
we have a Pac-Man-esque game that we have to play here. That if we lose the game, we get into a fight. These little ghosts sometimes don't go fast. And sometimes they do. There's no way to figure out what one they're going to do except to guess.
Pac-Man RNG, that sounds cool.
I got the bad RNG. Let's go.
Really? Let's do this.
I've come to expect like at least 1 or 2 fights on this thing every time I run it.
Get the upper hand.
If I ever get one where I can just hold the button and go through, it's I go and buy a scratch off and win $10.
Yeah. Only 10. 'Cause you
Only
have
10.
to break even so you don't feel like going deeper. Lots of
Okay,
gambling.
so-
The loser.
I'm gambling that this guy's gonna go fast. He did not. So I'm gonna do this little dance thing that I found, where both of them end up in my AO to like be triggered to stop the elevator. But if I go back and forth, neither of them attack me. So I just do that and guarantee not to get into a fight.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, I found that by complete accident and panic. Which is kind of how I figured out a lot of strats in most games, so...
I'd imagine it's some kind of animation stall, because it can't, like, interact with you actively moving the thing.
Yes, I think that might be it. We're gonna do a thing where we take Emma out of our party. We're just gonna go in with Rush. We don't need Emma in this boss fight. There's no reason to have her there. Rush is gonna solo, with his 300 HP or less. We are going to save because it can go bad. But this is the Nomal Narram fight. Our mom is here, and she has a remnant in front of her. Now, I took out Emma for a reason. You may notice, the first thing we see is Emma joining the battle. If you take Emma out of your union here, she rejoins with NPC value stats. So she has much higher HP, much higher survivability, and we let her just fight by herself and we heal her. They do this for about 2 or 3 other fights in the game. We're safe. But it's just a way for the game to like force certain characters to be in certain story fights. It is very helpful, because otherwise this fight would be terrible.
If I had to guess, it seems like maybe a dev feature for testing that they didn't have a reason to remove, because why would you?
They don't explicitly tell you either. You just kind of have to find out by accident.
Hey man, happy accident type of thing, right?
You
Look,
love to see it.
That bush is just you and me as secret, you know?
Yeah,
It's a little secret bush.
That thing, whenever, like, if you don't take a picture of it on your screen and show it to your friends at school, they won't believe it.
Yeah. I swear it's under the truck, man!
Yeah, push it.
Right,
Hold down and
right.
I'll show you the strength of Athlum.
Okay, so this is getting a little bit scary. Spark 5 is their strongest attack that they have, and it does a lot of damage. And we are getting some commands that aren't exactly friendly for Rush to heal Emma. Seeing Heaven's Flight is fine. It looks devastating, but it's not. So, there we go. Now we're kind of back in the swing of things. But this fight can just randomly go off the rails if Rush decides not to heal at certain breakpoints. We're very lucky that we survived some of those breakpoints, and we now have Nomal Narram and crit. I don't want Rush to do anything at all if we can help it. Rush will go up, try to fight Nomal Narram, and then instantly die, and we have no healing in this fight.
Yeah, I do appreciate that this is borderline 20 turns of just like, go in there, get him! I'm good! Rah!
Take this punch for me, please. Alright. I think we've got 1 or 2 more turns, depending on if we get crits or not. And there we go. Alright, so that is Nomal Narram. We are indeed having some very good luck with that fight. Like, I cannot complain. That one going smooth as it did. No resets. Let's go. Alright, so we're not going to worry about putting Emma back in the team, because once we go back to Athlum from this teleporter, she gets added automatically.
Right.
Excuse me. But we talked to her mom. She told us some stuff about what's going on. We don't understand any of it. We go back to the castle, join up with everyone. They're like, where have you been? And then we teleport to Athlum, and we are going to give the weapon to Torgal. We're going to pretend that we're going to give Blochter some stuff and not give it to him, and we're going to go right back to where we just were. Similar to earlier when we went to the Blacktail mines again, we have one more item to pick up. This is called the Blood Chalice. Now, on the wiki, if you check it out, by the way, shoutouts to Zephyr Atma 1 and everyone who worked on that wiki, y'all did a fantastic job. You'll notice the Blood Chalice says something very similar to the Samarion, but instead of Mystic Arts Growth, it says Mystic Skill Growth. So, this is where it kind of gets complicated with the leveling system. Mystic Arts will grow as you use them and gain EXP, but you also need to gain experience in that style of Mystic Art in order to be able to unlock the next level, i.e. Spark into Wind Shear, Double Time, Caustic Blast, etc. Blood Chalice allows you to cut that in half. Basically, you get a boost to... it's a +1. So not necessarily in half, but it just makes it go faster. And we are going to equip it right now. And that's going to help us in the grind that we are cutting short today, because it is a ridiculously long grind. And make it go a lot faster than it normally would. Now, I'm thirsty. After being in the mines all day, I gotta go to the pub. I gotta talk to that bartender and get some information. This information is important.
Surely.
For reasons. You may notice a certain option here when you go to talk to this bartender. She's like, what would you like to know about? One of the options is the bartender. I don't ask it. I don't remember what it says, but I just think it's funny that you can flirt with the clearly out of your age limit bartender on this game. But we talked to her so we can get some information regarding a couple of extra map spots. Brekel Vitel and the Southwestern Road. Both are pretty important. Brekel Vitel more for like a grindy thing and to unlock a map later on in the story. And the Southwestern Road for a couple of recruits. And a specific item that we want to buy from a shop. I'm looking for something specific in this area. Every time I play it on stream, I never see this little guy poke his head above the corner and he's not there. No. There's usually like a little chimera hiding in the background, trying to like sneak up on you, but you can see his head over the rock. And it's really cute. I never get to show that off to people in public.
It's like when your dog has got their head on the edge of the couch, they're begging, and you just like look, see them out of the corner of your eye, and then they go away, and you're like, what? Look, if you're going to beg, at least be proud about it.
Yeah. You go to take a picture, and they immediately stop doing the cute thing.
Yeah, yep. All right, now I got to wait another 3 weeks and have my phone in my pocket, and then the one day when I put my phone away. Ah!
Okay, so we stopped by this map point twice. One to unlock Gore, one to unlock Nagapur, Nagapur is the next place we go to in the story. Gore is for later on in the story. It just makes it easier to unlock it pretty quickly compared to later on, because you don't have to go back to that same map again. You're already finished with it. And now we come to this awesome town that has Bahamut as its remnant. Sorry, Gwaine. Gwaine the dragon.
Nagapur? Okay.
Nagapur.
Thanks,
yeah.
That was a great time for a, not belch. Oh, I'm gonna... Oh, never mind. Nothing. It's nothing.
So, Nagapur is where Congress meets, or where they're meeting Duke Hermione. Excuse me. But we can't go in because we're just peasants. So David goes without us, and Emma and Pagas say, hey, just go check out the city and come back when you're done. Let us know whenever you're finished and enjoy yourself. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk to them and say we're done. We're just going to lie to them so we can move the story on. We don't really, we're going to have plenty of time to spend with everybody here. We don't have to worry about, enjoying ourselves. We got a speed run. They're going to be with us the whole time. Just tell them, let's go. So once we talk to both of them in different parts of the city, we tell them we're finished. We go back to the front part of the city because we can't leave by ourselves. And the Conqueror shows up. And we're like, oh, that's not great. David finds out Duker Mayan might not be a good guy. And we're trying to figure out, what the best way to deal with all of this is while David's not here yet. So we do what every JRPG protagonist does, and we go find an old man next to a sewer and talk to him. And that progresses the story. Then we go back to Fluspawn, which is the gate to the city, and the Conqueror and his lackeys show up and get into a fight with Rush. We all know that Rush wins, so we're going to skip that cutscene. He definitely doesn't get beat up. And now we're done with that part of the story. Okay. Now that we're going off the beaten path a little bit, we are going to focus on recruiting and improving our abilities. And for recruiting Jorgen, we do have to kind of go off to the side, go through a desert a little bit, and spend about 4 minutes picking up some items for him specifically. This one being the first one, Bandana of Remembrance. Jorgen is a unique character because most characters in this game that are unique leaders are locked outside of Rush. They're kind of set in stone with what they can equip, what their gear is going to be, what their arts are going to be. Jorgen has amnesia, though. So if you give him 3 different things in a different pattern, he'll have different abilities. He can use item arts. He can use mystic arts. He could use bombs, explosives. He could just be a healer, a tank. So many different options for him, but the best one to get, in my opinion, for overall usefulness right out the gate is the Adventurer class, which is also the easiest one to pick up. So that's what we're going to get. We're going to get Jorgen in here to give some of our unique leaders that typically aren't in the speedrun a little bit of a showcase, little spotlight, because he's easy to pick up. He's kind of my favorite voice. He's constantly saying funny things in combat, and you'd be like, wait, why would you say that? It's hilarious. But for this town, we go to the bar again because that's where we get information, right? So we're going to talk to bartender here. They're going to automatically tell us stuff. We don't even have to ask a question. I accidentally talked to the cowboy, but it's always fun to say hi to your local cowboys. We're not going to talk to Jorgen yet. But we do need to recruit someone. So we're going to turn in those shadow medals, a couple of other things that we picked up along the way, get a lot of extra money, and we're going to pick up probably the best unit that we will get, Caedmon. Caedmon is supposed to be a combat unit. We will not use him as a combat unit at all. Maybe a little bit for the first fight, but that's not our fault. He just kind of does that, but he is going to be our HP tank that kind of helps us go through a bunch of stuff and survive a bunch of stuff that we normally wouldn't. And also can cast some magic, so... Alright, we need 10 of these. 10 of these. 20 of these. I think that should be good, yeah. And we need the Baltoro set. And now... we are going to sell a Palais. Actually, we'll go do the Great Sand Sea first. We'll do sell a Palais after.
Alright, well, hello everyone. It feels like we had a quick internet hiccup. Noob, you're back.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Great.
I saw that pop up just randomly. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Sometimes the internets. You're good to keep going.
Okay. Let's see here. So, like I was saying, we're going to take a little detour here. We're going to go through this desert so we can pick up one more item for Jorgen. And then we're going to go to Selipale, get a couple of recruits, and then we're going to go into one of the biggest / kind of hardest fights before the grind at a place called Nest of Eagles. Now, at this point in the game, most of our fights, we've had some really good luck. Like, it's not going bad at all. We're doing great. There are 2 characters called Roas and Castanea that will be here. And Castanea can sometimes just look at you and be like, nah, you're not going to go, like, you're winning? Cool, everyone's dead now. So we're gonna have fun with that fight. A lot of fun. There are some ways to cheese a few things on it. We could get David to kind of basically guarantee 2 gay bulgs before actually engaging in Castanea's AoE. But even if we get high rolls on that, unless we get like a super lucky Omni Strike proc from Rush, the next 2 turns after that could determine whether or not you're going to be resetting over and over at this point. That being said, I also think it's a great showcase of like the break point in the game. This is the last fight you take before you start doing the grind and get ridiculously powerful. Yes, Buff Jesus. It is the bottom of the nest bugs. I will showcase getting to there. Okay, and now we've got the Letter of Remembrance. So that's 2 of the 3 items we need for Jorgen. We'll get the last one here after the Nest of Eagles. Yeah, there are some ways you can kind of brute force things later on in the game, but early on it comes down to luck pretty much in most spots. Nope, not you. Yes, you. Okay, that's it for Selipale. We go into Athlum. Alright. Now we're going to recruit a few more people from the town square. Peyton, where are you at? No. Peyton. Kimberly. Sotheby. Alicia, who we will not use, but I'm doing it because we might need it. And Deacon. There we go. Alright. And then we set up our unions. This will be Rush.
Leave it to me.
Kademon. Where you at? Kralis. Nethos. Deacon. You are going to go melee stance. You're going to be David. Forgold. Blocked her. Faye, where did you go? And Peyton. That is not Peyton. There we go. And this, we're going to have the tanky unit of Pagus and Sotheby by themselves.
On me.
And we're done setting up our units. Okay, you may be wondering why didn't I bring Emma? Because she is a pretty powerful unit. Well, Emma's going to stay behind when we go to this battle and protect the castle. Because the Conqueror's forces are moving, we're going to go meet them at the Nest of Eagles and give them what for, while Emma holds down the town. We are going to safety save.
Wouldn't be a JRPG without randomly losing units. After,
oh,
like, oh, cool! I was depending on her, but whatever, I guess.
She's gonna be fine.
Surely, yeah. This doesn't have any. I can't smell any ill intent or omen.
Nah, don't worry about it. She'll be right back after this fight. I promise you. Her hair's gonna look a little different, maybe. I don't know. Maybe she changes clothes. Definitely nothing bad gonna happen though. But yeah, this is the first like really big battlefield fight we get to actually have control over. We want everyone to go towards D after holding the first turn, because that gives David time to charge up AP. And by the third turn, we should have enough for him to fire his giant gun Gable. Oh no, Kazinci. Kazinci went down. what are we gonna do? That's very sad. No, we want Kazinsi down as quick as possible there. That allows us to bring them back while David wipes the field. And we get no interruptions, we bring them back, and then we start charging Castanea and Roas.
Time for decent damage!
Hooray, decent damage! 7,817. And we bring
Yeah,
back
very
Kazinsi.
Ooh, very decent. Oh boy.
Now, we're halfway through the battle. Nothing could go wrong at this point.
Sure.
But after this turn, it's gonna get a little wishy-washy. I'm gonna play it really safe compared to what I normally do. Because we actually got a good turn, so I don't have to play it safe. I kind of have to play it safe with them. They get raid locked, of course, so. But we do get morale back. Okay. So, Castanea has question marks. This is not fun, because it's kilo hit. Everyone can die on this, not just Russia's Union, but it looks like we had some good positioning, so... But yeah, that did a lot of damage. When that hits everybody, having everybody take a lot of damage is like the worst thing you can get. Here we go with decent damage again. Actually, it went 1,890, so not decent. And this is the second... Whoa, okay, so... That's the second AoE attack that it can use. And Kazinsi decided to do something silly. Huh. How are we going to work this? So typically, Davi right now is fighting Roas. We want Kazinsi to fight Roas. While everyone else focuses on Castanea, because Kazinsi can't put out much power. But they can survive Roas and keep her occupied. With David on there, it's likely we get Castanea to be the second one that goes down instead of the first. Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna have you keep your HP up. Okay. So we're just gonna adjust a few strategies here. We can definitely still make this work. It's just gonna take a little bit more concentration on my end, so if I get quiet, I do apologize.
Hey man, that's a marathon run. You gotta tap dance like you're selling nails sometimes.
Keep it together.
Let's see, this is a regular attack, so that's the worst it could do, but it's still not bad. It did knock out one of our units, we just lose a little bit of damage. Talisman's Gift is okay. I don't know if I want you to go all the way like that, but we're gonna do it. Pagas can't do anything free. Alright, so we do get the dodge here because we had Talisman's Gift, so that's fine. But the next non-physical attack will wipe us. I don't know that I want Roas to go down yet. I want them to go down. Why won't Kazinsi die? Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. So now we can kind of reset things. Let's see. We will bring them back. Move you over here. Or have you bring them back too. Aqua, there are absolutely fights early on in the speedrun that can ruin everything. And it won't make it to where it just, like, stops you from progressing, but it just makes it so hard to get past them that you'll just want to reset.
Yeah. RPG speedruns do be like that.
Yeah, every fight is absolutely beatable. Another tutorial. It's just dependent on whether or not it is worth it to do it if you're going for PBs. And this game specifically, until you find like your own little groove and the nuances that'll help you, like, oh, this is, I can take this fight whether it looks bad or not. It does become a bit of a reset fest pretty early on. Later on, after the grind though, Aqua, you're just... The only time you would really reset... Yeah, the only time you would really reset is if you didn't get the commands you wanted on the first turn. And that rarely happens, for the most part.
Was there ever like a micro grind before this, or
I
was it always
didn't see
YOLO?
anything. It was.
Okay.
I think that there were some situations, like super early runs, where they took like a couple of fights in Dillmore, like before Blacktail.
Gotcha.
But to my knowledge, there wasn't anything that required you to go out of your way and spend like 10-15 minutes on it. And the way the game is designed, it's not really... doesn't really lend itself to doing a micro grind. The stat gains you get typically aren't that great.
So minimal, it's not worth. Got it.
Yeah. Basically, the first 1,000 chains that you have in the game, if you can see in the top right, it says 19 chain. The first 1,000 chains you have give you an okay amount of stat growth. The next 1,000 are basically double that. Double what your stats are when you get to the 1,000 part.
Gotcha.
So it's all dependent on how long you put into the grind and how your battle rank sets for that. Are we okay? Yeah, we're
That's
fine.
interesting. Chat's also got the casual perspective as well from Buff Jesus that even for non-speedrunners, this was the strat. Fudge it, we're gonna go kill bugs.
Yeah, a lot of bugs. You could probably get done with your speedrun grind at around 1,700 bugs. I tend to go for 1,900 because it is about 2 more fights, so about 5 to 6 minutes longer, but the stats are so huge comparatively that
Flattens out the RNG curve.
yeah, it feels way more worth it, and your survivability for the next few fights skyrockets with just 200, 300 more HP. So this fight is going on a little long, but that is because everything went silly and I had to find a way to get through it. Which I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far.
I mean, that's this show in a nutshell. It's like, okay, something broke. I don't even know how it broke, but I guess we're gonna have to fix it.
Yeah,
Bro, that is not how a hammer works. What? Excuse me.
So yeah, physics, they exist sometimes. Overall, do I want you? Yeah, well, let's just go in. We're doing it. We're sending both David and Rush after this big boy. Rush complained as soon as we got rid of him. Oh, and Rose goes down immediately after. So that's the fight. Super easy. All you gotta do is pretend to not care the whole time. That fight did take longer than normal, but honestly, the game can just do things like that. It just decides that you're not gonna have a fun time, your strategy is gonna get messed up, and you gotta figure it out.
The good old gameplay recording blocked because of Square.
Yeah.
Why are you like this? This was such a silly idea.
So you may have noticed Emma taking a nap. That's all it was. Emma took a nap and she lost her hat. I didn't mean to go to that part of the town. I wanted to go here, to the town square. There is a belt that's just laying in the middle of this town square. And it's there since the beginning of the game. But that guy right there stands here and blocks it. So you can't get it until after this part of the game where the giant sword is already gone. Because it's no longer his favorite spot to sit in the city.
He's managed to move 5 feet to a different spot.
Yeah. So basically what happened while we fought the Conqueror's forces, the Conqueror shows up to Athlum, destroys Emma, and takes the giant sword and binds it and makes it his own sword. And starts threatening to take a lot of people's remnants from their cities. This makes everyone angry, obviously, and nobody wants that to happen. So we decide, even though Hermione is a bad guy, we're gonna go into his house and try to figure out what's going on, talk to him, and probably dish out some revenge for Emma losing her hat.
This is what I love about explaining RPGs to people. It sounds like, wait a minute, what is happening? What is, what even is the story anymore? You're trying to explain One Piece. This, oh, dude, we're in Elbath. And they're like, bro, what is an Elbath and why do I care?
Yeah. Why are they taking a shower? Like El Bath.
What?
Oh, El Bath.
One piece bikini? Damn you, Amazon. You put in one piece and it's like, I don't want a swimsuit!
Okay, so we went into the aqueducts, and we left. The reason we left is because the next tier of soldiers that we can recruit does not get unlocked until we go in there, and we want to pick up a specific item chest from there as well before we go back to this town. So we picked up the Cell Palette. We want Caedmon to ask for that so we get more AP. We're going to talk to this lady in here. If you talked to her earlier in the game, she tells you about her boyfriend who's in the military. And now she's like, here's his sword. And you're like, oh, that's sad. So she gives us a sword. We're immediately going to break it down into different item parts because it gives us stuff. Mainly the Roy Ocean alloy. Which will allow us to unlock very specific formations that we need later on. Okay, so we got that. I think we go Alterosa now. Yeah, we go here for Jorgen. Yeah, I haven't seen the One Piece series yet on Netflix, but I have seen clips of it, and it looks actually kind of good. I don't mind goofy graphics. Like, One Piece wasn't meant, in my opinion, to be taken seriously.
Seriously,
at the beginning. And like where they're going with it now.
I was worried that like the amount of special effects required for that would take you out of it, but it's pretty good. There are some like story changes, but if you sit there and being like, they changed One Piece, like you can still read the manga, man. I have to take the same approach because I'm a big fan of Remake and Rebirth, and some of the people that love 7 hate the rewrites to the story. So I can't be like, well, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's also like, I will say I love Rebirth and Remake as well, and it is disheartening to hear the amount of hate for it. Whenever you start talking to people about 7 and then transition to the Rebirth Remake talk, they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't like it." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah," but
it's its own thing. I love it.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. It in no way replaces, and I even look at it in a completely detached manner. Like, you could even say that it doesn't exist in your timeline.
You have chosen well.
Just enjoy the game. The only thing is, I know a lot of people don't really enjoy action RPGs as much as they do tactical, so that's another hurdle for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Emmy, Sotheby, Pagas, Jorgen, and Kimberly. Sorry about that. I had to focus on menuing just a second.
No,
I guess I'll go ahead and do the art. I can do the arts as well. So what we're doing right now, we're gonna get into one fight and then unlock a part for the story later on. Let's see. We don't need those anymore. You don't need that.
Have you never laid eyes on a Subani?
We're gonna get rid of that. Keep that. Get rid of that. I don't need those anymore.
Checking my stats, huh?
I am Emma Honeywell.
Actually, hold on. Let me.
Observe my stats carefully before making.
And one more thing, I think we are actually gonna leave you on. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Thanks for your patience while I figured out what I was doing. But yeah, we're getting into one fight here, and then we are unlocking a plot point later on, so we don't have to come back here.
Let's do this.
What we want from this fight is 3 Manticore carapaces. That'll make Caedmon's weapon get stronger later on. And this also allows us, picking these specific enemies, allows us to unlock the belt formation, which is something that's going to be super awesome for Rush's Union the rest of the run. It basically makes him go first every time, save 1 or 2 regular random moments. And also helps you manipulate the grind itself. You'll make it to where Rush gets more commands, more actions, and kind of funnels the HP towards Rush, or EXP towards Rush. We got way more than 3 carapaces, so cool, we don't have to do a second fight. Alright, so it used to be we would farm this little grass point over next to where I just looked at for Titicaca leaves to get a different character. That takes too long, it is RNG heavy, and is very reset heavy too, so this will be easier. I don't like that you grabbed the Wayfarer's Reward, that's unfortunate. We got that one. Let's go to Athlum. Okay.
And some of the names we're going through here, I have to remind myself to be an actual functional adult and not laugh immediately. Just like the lowest of lowbrow of do not laugh, you lose.
So, I will say there are some names here that we're not going to touch it. We're just going to leave it be. But I will say someone with a normal name that we picked up, Glenn, is incredibly important. Glenn is a Marauder. What Marauder does for us is allows us to get the Mystic Shield formation. What that does is also helps manipulate the grind a bit by making everyone who has that formation slower. We're going to go ahead and get rid of you. And Glenn is now done with his job. So, goodbye, Glenn. One more recruit, and then we will move forward to our grind. So, Glenn, literally, I've done runs when I was first learning this routing, where I was like, why don't I have Mystic Shield? It's so annoying. And then I realized why. And I was like, I can't believe it. What is wrong with me? You just pick that guy up for 10 seconds and throw him away. That's all. He's very important for manipulating speed. And not getting him just makes the grind 10 to 20 minutes longer. Okay, we're gonna make you get better. You need a few more of those, and you will be the rest of that. Okay.
Hit the wrong button. Just thinking, like, did we even spend any of the money that we've been farming?
So the money typically heavily goes into Caedmon, Jorgen, and some other things. So we're gonna go ahead and just do that. So like you don't see it be used a lot, but when you do use it, you always feel like you don't have enough. Get rid of you. Okay, let's see here. Melee, Kamupe, Jorgen, Thacker, and Kralis. You are going to be melee stance Liza, Peyton, Faye is right here, and then Nethos. Then create union. I'm going to be displaying a new strat that I haven't done before that has been working pretty well and makes the final boss fight much easier. We're using Pogus as a party member instead of switching to a different one that I would normally use, because we use Pogus in the final fight and not the other one. And bonus stats are a thing in this game. If you take part in a fight, there's a possibility you will get bonus stats that don't count towards your soft cap. The more of those you get, the stronger you are later on in the game. We are good to go.
Stats carefully before making a choice.
And if we give Pogus more fights in the grind, Pogus gets more of those bonus stats for AP, HP, intelligence, tact, all of that. And that makes the final boss fight a lot more manageable, because instead of just throwing a raw Pogus in there anyway, you get a pretty well cooked Pogus. That's basically my analogy for it.
I'm such a child. Literally anything will make me laugh.
So it's basically more for the HP. Pogus is typically a weaker unit overall. He does have high AP and a high intelligence. Hello, big plant. Excuse me. But he's pretty brittle. So giving him those bonus stats, getting like an extra 100 HP for him is massive for the final boss fight. Even though it doesn't sound like a lot compared to what we're about to see, it's huge. Because a lot of times you're only going to be surviving with 100 HP.
Sometimes that ache is the only thing that gets you out of hot fire, yeah.
What the heck happened with the camera there?
Yep, that's
Okay.
the curse of 3D RPGs. You're just like, bro, camera, you're drunk, go home.
I might have done that, but I'm not going to admit it if I did. That's the game's fault.
Always blame the game. Never take responsibility.
So I have seen some of you in the chat talk about this, the bugs in the nest. This is what is called the PC Ultimate Grind. On the wiki page, we're going to go find a lot of bugs. Those bugs respawn infinitely until you fight the boss for this quest. Those bugs, in the console version, do like to be a little wonky and not aggro properly, but I have found a sort of trick that kind of makes them move even when they don't want to. And it's not too difficult to get a 20 link with the strats I use. But unfortunately today we're not going to be able to show that off because that's like an hour into the grind. We're going to do a couple of fights here, show you like a little bit of the difference in the stats early on. And then just basically get you like, you know, taste it, test it out, see what's going on with the grind early on. And then we're going to go skip the grind and look at where we're at.
Happy Easter. Our gift to you is 2 hours of grind.
Of your life.
Yep.
Okay. I like to check this because you have a chance to get a silver ore. Silver ore is nice because it helps upgrade Torgal and Caedmon's weapons. Watch this be the one time that I don't get it. You don't need it. It's helpful to get it this early, but okay, I see what you're doing, game. Oh, there we go. All right, wait until the second to last try. The silver ore is not required, but it does make a few of the fights a little bit easier because Torgal and Caedmon doing more damage equals more damage, and you want to do more damage pretty soon. But Glennis is here. She's telling us we gotta go meet her ancestors or something. I don't know. And she leads us to a place where there are bugs everywhere. She's like, I don't know where that guy is that's supposed to be the master of some kind of move. But there's bugs here, so we decided to just fight thousands of them. And as we fight, our experience will explode. Not just for our stats, but also for our arts. The way the system works is, or one of the ways, let me verify that there are 1,000 ways that this system works, and none of them are easy to know without looking up the wiki. But the way the Mystic Arts growth kind of thing works, with this grind, the first checkpoint is to get 370 chains. The reason we do that is at 370 chains, all experience growth is doubled. Your weapons experience, your stats, your combat arts, your mystic arts, everything. So every time you pick a command, you get double experience for that. And every time you use the command, you get double experience for that. That's when you start focusing on certain spells, specifically Spark with Rush. And then just doing single links for a while till you get Permafrost, and then you spend another 20 minutes getting Permafrost 2, 3, and 4, and then 30 minutes getting Permafrost 5. If at any point in time you get hit by a bug when you're not ready to fight, it resets. Close the game. You just need to restart this autosave because you will lose that chain. But basically, we're going to start fighting bugs. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Let's do this.
Now they're little bugs. How bad could they be, right? They're just landworms. Well, I'll show you. there are a lot more bugs than there are us. So they can flank. They can raid lock. They can do more damage because there's more of them. Because of that, we have to start out with a lower amount. 10 being kind of good, 9 you can work with as well. Because that, 1, makes the morale bar manageable, and 2, makes it to where you don't kind of die every single fight. And 3, the fights are just going to last ridiculously long at this point. Once you get your AoE skills, then you're going to want to do 20 every single fight. And you can just wipe fights that normally take 5 to 10 minutes will take you 2 minutes. But early on, since these guys can hit kind of hard, we want to kind of just get in here, pick the first command on everyone's menu, and just go. Now we can pick the first command without worrying too much about missing like what we want because of how we set up everyone's arts. Everyone's kind of set to like use specific things so they can we just hit down and X every single turn really fast and they go. That also makes it way quicker to grind because you don't have to look at what you're picking. You just hit buttons and you're done. You can hydrate, drink some water while the fight happens. Yeah, Emma had a nap. She took a nap and lost her hat. That's why she looks younger. Actually, do this. No, what actually happened, Emma did pass away. The Conqueror did end up taking a tablet from inside of her that is the other half of a tablet our mom gave us. I don't know how Emma had surgery on her that she didn't know about because she was surprised when she saw the tablet. And then she died. And then her daughter shows up and says, "Hey, I'm here. I want to take her place." And she basically has better stats and more moves. Goku got replaced by him. So yeah, basically Emmy is Emma's daughter who was off on an adventure getting stronger, and she comes back stronger than her mom was. Also, here's the best track in the game in my opinion. If you're grinding this, you will hear this a lot. And then at the end of the game, if you have the worst morale, you will hear it a lot.
You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
because you're gonna listen to it.
This game does have ridiculously good music, and unfortunately, we don't get to hear a lot of it in the speedrun. And we're just gonna do this. This is not gonna be an optimal selection, but we take what we get.
Let's do this.
But if you play this casually, check out all of the tracks. Do every fight you can and try to get your morale up and down because it changes. Every other turn, if the morale changes to low, to medium, and to high, it changes the music for you. So this right now is the low morale music. The other track we heard, that's called Reversal. That's when you have high morale music. And it does change in the second half of the game, where it uses different tracks throughout the fights. I'm a little disappointed in those. Unfortunately, I like the early ones better, but personal taste. But yeah, like different boss fights have different music, different side quests have different music. The dungeons have pretty awesome atmospheric sounds as well. It's if you like music in video games, you're gonna love this game. 17 years ago? Nah, it was like last week. This came out a few months ago. I'm not sad.
There's a lot of conversations where I'm just like starting doing finger math and I'm like, I've got to stop. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're not going to the other hand.
It's like anytime I have a conversation about Blink-182 is when that happens.
What's my age again? What's my age again?
Yeah, just unironically too. Like, so, oh man, that was my favorite band in high school.
Ooh.
But yeah, basically this is what your grind is going to be until that number on the top right corner turns to 370. And at that point, you'll start hitting bugs one by one, like as quickly as possible. focusing on rush using spark,
Must surpass
and then eventually it'll evolve from there. You'll start counting and doing math, which this is a stream. We don't do that on stream. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to return to the title screen. Now we notice we're sitting around 12 to 1700 HP for our unions there, right?
Yep.
So we are gonna go, let me find it real quick. That's New Game Plus. Here we go. We gained a few battle ranks, gained a few levels and stats and skills. And boom. There's one group that is set to 2200. That's just because they're incredibly weak. Don't worry about them. But we'll look a little bit here. Permafrost is the art that you're wanting to go for Rush, and you want it to be 5. Permafrost 5 allows you to use Blackout. We'll show Blackout off really quickly here. But basically, Kamupe now has a very powerful move.
Checking my stats.
So does Emmy. Where is Liza? So does Liza. Liza has Dragon Tail 4. That's super important. Those combat arts, getting that experience through the grind is just amazingly, like, the old speedrun grind was just rush gets the experience. Having it this way adds like half a minute and then cuts off 20 minutes of the run. It's so fantastic that it's set up that way nowadays. And you'll see why here in a moment. You thought 7,000 HP worth of damage was a lot? RTA, this grind, depending on RNG, because of how Mystic Arts work, can take anywhere between an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes. And if you do it like me, where you try to get a higher grind number, higher chain number for your stats, for more survivability, you're probably going to lean towards the hour 40, hour 50 minute part. Alright, so coming out, we take a look. We have 74 AP on Rush. That is weird. That shouldn't be like that. But that's fine. We move forward. I believe since we've come to the city, it turns into 76 because someone got a little power upgrade on their accessories. And 76 is the magic number in the grind. So now we go back into the aqueducts. We fast forwarded in time. It's been 2 hours. David's like, why did we take so long walking away? I didn't get to be even a part of the grind. And now we go into the sewers. This map is not so bad. The giants here look intimidating. You can just run past them. Don't even worry about it. They're standing on the street over there. We're going to move the bridge so we don't have to talk to them. And if you're like me, when you're speedrunning and you're grinding for a while, you're wondering, wait, why am I supposed to go here again? What's the story purpose? Well, the person here is a bad person, and we're sneaking into their castle because they hurt our friend. And our sister's here too, so... Plus, I think there's a cool sword we can pick up, and maybe some plot powers? Who knows? Yeah, absolutely. If y'all are, chilling here in chat, you haven't stretched in a while, you haven't hydrated, grab some water, do a little bit of stretching. You got some time. Got a couple minutes before I get to the next boss fight. Okay, so we're gonna run past some crabs down here that don't like to follow you, but they like to surprise you. A lot of times the placement for the crabs in this stage are just, you're like, oh, it was there right around the corner. So I tend to take wide angles when I'm walking in the sewer area. However, they can still surprise you. These guys, you kind of walk through some of their little tentacle arm things and not worry about if they're going to force an encounter or not. There's a moth. Where is second crab? Right there where I was going to turn. Let's see here. I think... Yeah, there wouldn't be any reason I would reset at this point. We do want to see the blackout, the ability to use blackout on the first turn, but even if we don't, I want to show you all how powerful the rest of the team has gotten. Like, the amount of damage difference that there is for everyone, not just Rush and the main characters, the main party, if you will. And we get this defender sword that we will equip. This will allow us to have slightly higher evasion, which doesn't really mean anything right now. It's just a little bit better sword than the other one. I don't know why I didn't skip there. That's fun. Okay.
Just to make you wonder if you're playing properly.
Yeah, did I hit the button correctly? Okay, we do get blackout, and we don't really have to worry too much about anything else.
Come on, let's kick some A. This one's gonna knock you into next week.
Alright. So that's why decent damage was mentioned earlier.
Just a nuke. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Most mobs will instantly go down to that.
So, what's the cost for that? Just being able to spit that out. Do you actually lose anything, or
you have to have 76 AP to be able to use Blackout 5. And the way we have Rush set up, he automatically starts with that, and the gear he has equipped means he gets extra AP for damaging people. So he'll never not be able to do it.
Let's kick some A.
It's just dependent on if the game decides to let us do it. Now this battle is a little bit different. It's a story-based battle. Rush cannot get hit the first turn. He tries to use Omni Strike, and you can't choose anything else, but he can't use Omni Strike. So the game's like, you can't be hit. We hope to get some counterattacks on dodges, but you probably won't. Oh, there's one. And we got hit, which is weird. But the reason it makes it to where Rush can't really get killed in the first 2 turns is because Rush unlocks a new mechanic called summoning. No one's ever heard of this mechanic before in any other game. I'm just kidding. But we summon a little buddy to help us out in the fight. And it kind of isn't great because we don't get to use Blackout right away, and our morale can drop drastically low, but we still shouldn't be too bad off because the rest of our team is doing around 6,000 to 9,000 damage per turn. And there's our buddy Cyclops. How you doing, buddy? We want to see this guy help us in the final boss fight. We're probably never going to see this guy again, if any of my last runs are any indication, because he just doesn't show up ever again. Okay, so we get no thing there. Alright, we're just gonna focus on beating up these, whatever they are inside of a giant chocolate egg? Kinder egg? I don't know, the bad guy. We're gonna focus on the main boss.
a big Easter surprise? We found the egg, guys! Now we just gotta kill it.
We found it. It's shooting fire at us. And I guess... gremlins? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so as you can see, 12,975 damage. Just compared to what we were putting out earlier, like 1,000 to 2,000 for normal attacks, is such a huge jump. That the grind, like if we didn't do the grind, it would take probably 3 or 4 times as long getting through the rest of the game. Just trying to live. Now all we have to do is just punch everything and it goes down. But yeah, we've gotten through that fight. That's usually the big DPS check casually too. And we've saved our sister. She is with our party now, but we're not able to use her yet. We have to get out of the castle. But we found out Duke Hermione was being used. Even though he's a bad guy, he's dead now. And then we're going to fight Jaeger again because he's here somehow. But he has a friend. And we're going to say hi to that friend. Hi, Lob Omen. Lob Omen is fun. We're going to do this. We are going to focus everyone on Lob Omen because Lob Omen has a weird mechanic. If Lob Omen decides that you are more of a threat attacking Jaeger than anyone attacking him, he'll disconnect from the deadlock and try to attack the person attacking Jaeger, opening him up for a raid lock. Sounds like a good idea, but if he gets you on a flank with low HP, you're done. So we kind of want to get rid of him early on. Jaeger's down anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. In fact, we might win this fight before I'm finished talking. Yeah, we're done. This fight is over.
There's no way I will lose.
Just regular attack. Let's go. So yeah, our party is powerful.
'Twas a meaningless battle. Little by little. I'm
Oh
becoming
yeah,
stronger.
doing the speedrun, don't try to fight the super bosses. I spent days trying to fight the Fallen and trying to figure out a way to get through with just the speedrun strat. Even when I got lucky, it was not enough. Also, half a year passed. Nagapur got blown up by Bahamut. Gwen turned into an actual dragon and just shot people with lasers in the street. It was very scary. I want you to do combat. I'm gonna have you focus on Mystic for now. I did want to incorporate a super boss into this run.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, yeah.
Yeah. The game is not designed to let that happen, unfortunately. Like, you have to put hours and hours into it. And while I do have some save files before some super bosses, there's a lot of context missing regarding abilities that I have, characters that I have in the party that make those abilities work, etc. It just, as cool as it would be to show off, some of those things, it would just be like, oh, cool, it's just a part of the game. And I can't really wrap it into the story or anything without taking 20 minutes to explain it when the fight's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So here we are at a story part that's hard to explain, but I'm going to try to do it in 5 minutes. So basically, it's been 6 months since we rescued our sister. And Duke Hermione has died. The Conqueror is now taking over a lot of remnants from people, like, just basically taking some that are already bound to others, and it's making those people sick. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with the world, how to track down the Conqueror, how to track down all the remnants that he's taken over and that he's going to take over. And we're told by David, hey, go to Fornstrand. There's a remnant there. So we go here, and we look at it. And stuff happens that I don't remember because I don't think anything really special occurs there. There's no boss fight. It's just like you look at it and you can go back to the castle. So, after we go there, we come back to the castle. We talk to everyone. And then Arena decides she wants to come with us. We're telling her, no, we're going to go to Illusion to look for some more stuff. Get some information on what's going on. She gets mad, obviously, because anime. Like, you know, someone gets told they can't hang out, they're going to be mad. We go to Illusion, find out things are weird. We go back to Athlum. We go talk in the castle. We kind of get griped at by our parents and David. They tell us that Arena just wants to hang out with us and be close because she's our little sister. We're like, no, we don't want that. And then they're doing more research on trying to find out where the Conqueror's forces are and what's happening. So we leave. We go to the bar. As one does in this game. There's a guy outside waiting for us telling us, hey, instead of making fun of us, he tells us we look valiant and to go back to the castle. And then once we're back at the castle, Arena says, hey, I can kind of feel where the remnants are, so I should go with you. So she joins our party. So now we have the best support unit in the game on our team. Arena is really good at healing. In fact, she is so good at healing, we are not going to give her her best weapon, which puts her on the path to not healing. Okay, so we are going to do some changes. Since we have more options here, let's see, we're going to make this... Place you, Torgal, Lars. Emmy is going to be Emmy. Blockter. This is going to be Jorgen. And no, this is going to be Sotheby. Yeah, okay. To Sotheby Arena. This is going to be Thacker, Jorgen, Faye. Actually, we're going to put Kimberly in here. We're going to try this out. And then Liza, Peyton, Faye for that. We are moving you in first. We are going to fix some abilities. Actually, I'm going to keep that off you. Turn off the traps.
Impressive, huh?
Okay. All that menuing takes a little bit of time. But it is to set up for the next gauntlet of fights. Pretty soon, we're going to be seeing a lot of fights occur. There will be some bases that pop up, and we will go over what those bases are for. Map's confusing. Let's go. We stop by Illusion, we check on some people, and the Ark is acting weird. We go by Stella Palais to talk to the 11-year-old Duke there, that little kid on the throne that's looking sick, and he is not feeling well. And now we're going to go to Gore. Gore's going to be like, I don't know why they made a little kid the king. Like, it's not fair. And call him an urchin. And then Gore tells us that we need to start being the forefront of the resistance against the Conqueror, and he will join us on the battlefield eventually when it's convenient for him. Like all powerful-looking characters in a game do that aren't on our team. Right. And that's why we unlocked Gore earlier. That way we don't have to, like, interrupt this lore break with a dungeon crawl. There's the Duke of Gore with his giant axe. Belquinth is a remnant, and it's kind of cool. Casually, you need to talk to the Duke of Gore before the first base, and then after every other base fight that occurs to get Duke of Gore unlockable in the game. Alright, one last little pit stop. We haven't checked out the shops in a while. Surely there's got to be something really cool, right? Something the kids would love. Well, we have the Bracelet of Glazing.
This game
We're gonna buy
is
2 of those.
scientifically designed to make me snicker.
Alright, those bases popped up. There are 6 bases in Königsdorf. First base we're going to attack is base 5 because it gives us a weapon for Rush called the Frostblade that improves his permafrost attack and his black hole or blackout attack. It is just a better weapon, and it makes the rest of the fights way easier. Cool, we didn't get the blackout turn 1. That's okay.
Come on, let's kick some ass.
You are over. Some of these voice lines are just wonderful. Like, what does that even mean? You are over. I'll try to point out the Jorgen ones too when they pop up.
That one looks like it hurt.
Crush that flank!
Trying to be a tough guy?
Okay, 1, 2... Yeah, we get it. Finally. Awesome. Okay, so this first base fight, it's pretty decent size mob. It's not too terrible. I think we get about 26, 27-ish monsters around here. Maybe more. It's been a while since I've counted. Oh, cool. That didn't go the way I wanted. So yeah, the game is making it go a little bit slower, not getting the blackout commands on the turns that we need them. But we should be fine. The main point is we're not going to lose these fights outside the bases anyway. Once we go inside, things could happen that would be terrible for our team. But for the most part, outside, we're all good to go.
You can do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Alright, here comes some more bad guys. And the battle is over. Unless someone dodges. They didn't. Cool. Alright.
Just, I'll summon a black hole. See you guys later.
Technically the best sword.
I think the best part is when you do that, and someone dodges, and it's like, how did you dodge that? Like,
Yeah.
it's a black hole. They don't do anything spectacular either. They just kind of jump back, and it says dodge, and it's like, okay, like,
Sure,
you're a landworm.
whatever you say. Yeah.
Alright, this is our first base boss. In the game, there are 7 unique characters called the Seven. Sweet, we got a good command. And you will have to fight each one of them in these bases. One of them is a set of twins at the base, and they can be scary, but they're not as scary as the old guy with the devil sword, so we'll talk about him in a moment. But if you do these characters' side quests before you fight them, or before you go to the aqueducts, you can unlock them as playable characters later on in the game. You just have to beat them again. And then pay like $200,000 for each one. Let's see. This should be over pretty quickly.
I've remembered.
We didn't get a turn 1 on this character, but that's fine. We're close enough that this turn absolutely should wipe him out. With no casualties, too. Alright.
Don't underestimate your foes.
There we go.
I still got
Uh-oh, he said the A word.
Where did all my strength go? You weren't supposed to be that strong.
That's what Rush can't say it. Rush is too young, which I kind of get. Like, it was in the time where like censorship was still a little wonky. But
And at least
I mean,
it's not like Final Fantasy 16 where they just spam the F word within the first like 10 minutes of the game because it's a mature
yeah.
title. They're like, you know what would be cool is if Final Fantasy just had like a characters say F like 5-6 times in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, and very fast, over and over.
Yeah. Literally, we lose time trying to get that dialogue to glitch out.
I will be honored to carry out this task.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. We want to sell this. Yes, and sell this. And buy this. Yes. I have to change some equipment because I pressed buttons too fast. So what we did was buy more bracelets of glazing. What they do is they increase your HP, okay? And HP is huge for survivability. We want people to ask for it as much as possible. Thing is, the people we don't want to ask for it are going to be the first ones to ask for it. That's just how the game is. So Irina was the first one to ask for it. Now, immediately after we gave it to her, we took her out of the party. The reason we do that, this boss fight at this base has a weapon called the Night Bloom. We want Emmy to grab that, and if Irina is in the party, Emmy does not get that weapon. Irina does. So we take Irina out for one fight. We put David in because why not? Like, it really doesn't matter at that point. Emmy is going to be our tank and our support unit for the whole time. Okay, not the worst luck.
I've remembered.
But we basically set it up to where if Arena's not in the fight, she's not going to ask for the weapon. Emmy gets it, Emmy gets stronger. And we put Arena back in and move on from there. But these twins that we were about to fight, they start every fight out with a move called Twin Snow Petal. I have to mess with some abilities after this fight because I just noticed someone has something I don't want them to know. But what it does is it hits everyone in the field for a decent amount of damage. Rush being in the belt formation means he has lower defense. Lower defense means you take more damage. We have a decent amount of HP, a really good amount of HP. But unless we get like the yellow command to start out with, you're still going to see Rush get knocked down to about 600 HP. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some spells for these individuals.
Observe
There we go.
my stats carefully before making it.
The reason I want to keep them on the low tier spells is because if they have a higher one, the commands could come out that take up more AP but don't give me the amount of spells that I need to use Blackout. So just a little bit of quality of life from the Xbox 360 version.
You won't get forgiveness from me.
Yep, it's about how I expected that to go.
Morale? What morale? We got hit by
Oh, we'll get it back.
ninjutsu. Oh gosh, ninjutsu! I don't know what to do.
And I kind of expected Rush to go down there. That's fine.
What's this?
Pretty absurd to think that like 30 minutes after your grind, you're actually able to get knocked out still. Eesh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So while there is an overall stat for your team, each unit still has their own individual defense, and that still affects them individually. Like if you start a New Game Plus game, you'll see it right away. If you give Rush some absurd equipment, he'll take like no damage, but his teammate will take 200, 300 HP's worth of damage. So there is still an individual pattern where some of like Pogus will be incredibly weak defensive wise, and Rush could be a tank. And if they focus on Pogus, then it's just game over for Pogus and your whole union. But the reason you set them up the way you do is because they give you the ability to be power overwhelming. Oh, bye Thacker. That happens. It's okay. We don't care. We have the ability to have power overwhelming, and if we lose a turn, we lose a turn. We'll come back the next turn and start over again with summoning black holes or dying. Like that. Oh yeah, I forgot. She uses Overdrive. Overdrive is a move. It gives you 5 attacks in 1 turn.
That's certainly a move.
Most times I survive it, but everybody's falling down pretty easily to this, so I think she got a lot of crits. Total domination is not great. Uh-oh. Okay. I need to pay a little bit of attention because this is not great. Okay, we're fine. Are they? Yeah, they're fine. Okay, so what she did was she basically killed everybody and then took over Rush's ability to make decisions and left me with only 1 union. Rush then could go straight over to the other union and take them down in 1 hit. But we got lucky with turn order, so we're all fine. Everything's good. No worries. That didn't finish the fight, huh? Well, at least we get to see what happens whenever the Enthralled Union attacks. We'll be okay. I'm not worried about losing the fight. It's the time that's kind of worrisome here. It's like, this is going to take a couple more minutes than it should.
It seems like a really random encounter pattern.
Yeah, this fight's typically pretty quick. This should end it. Yeah, okay. There was just a little bad luck with Hina getting more
I
crits
must surpass
than I
my
expect.
mother. This is what I've been
So
searching
things
for.
didn't turn out the way it should be. I don't care what you are, David. You can have that. Okay, you're good with that. I don't know about that. We are going to put Arena back in now.
I will be honored to carry out this task.
And we are going to have fun. Base 6 is the scariest boss fight out of all of the bases. If anyone is familiar with Milton, you know why. Yeah, absolutely, Aqua. It can definitely slow you down. In fact, as easy as some of these base fights are, any of them can absolutely just add 2 to 3 minutes to your time if one turn just goes a little wonky.
This is what I've been waiting for.
There is a set list of mitigation purposes for all of these fights. But overall, it's like most RPGs, if the game decides it doesn't want you to have fun, you're probably not going to have fun that day. Alright. But we are getting, I will say, as weird as that one fight was, this is not a bad run overall. Luck-wise, we're doing really well. We're getting good commands. We do have a couple of moments where things are kind of slow. But I would take a run like this over half of my last 30 runs any day of the week. Because I just feel super comfortable and able to, like, kind of go over things without having to focus too hard every single moment. It's runs like these that make me really like the game a lot more, and then I try to play it on hard mode, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna never do that again.
What's this?
Yes, this game is absolutely worth it to play. This obviously is biased because I'm speedrunning it and I'm playing it.
Yeah.
But it is typically on sale quite a bit, and it's a fun game. Like, even with the grinding, like there definitely is an amount of time you would have to put into this to get the best skills and items. But the music, the side quests, some of the characters, like their voices that happen, like for as old as this game is, and it's really not that old, the voice acting is pretty decent, the story's okay, and it's just a wonderful time. Like, you just be sitting there chilling, listening to music, jamming, like, while a dragon's attacking you, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm getting eaten by a dragon. I'm also playing some screamo metal in the background while it's happening, so let's go.
From somebody that hasn't even played it at all, it barely looks... It looks a little bit dated, but the audio fidelity is there, which is a really big cornerstone that doesn't take you out of the experience.
And one thing I regret we haven't got to see, ragdoll physics. Like, we haven't seen anything explode off of the map after hitting it, which happens randomly out of nowhere sometimes, and I love it. But some of the death animations are some of the best that I've ever seen in any video game. Alright, so we're at Milton. Milton is scary. Half of my team is about to die, if I'm lucky. Because he does that. One-hit KOs. So, I do kind of like this if Rush goes last. And he does, as long as nobody gets criticals. Perfect. Rush will dodge everything, gets counter, and this should finish off Milton. Alright, as planned, calculated. Milton has the ability to one-shot whoever he attacks, and he learns an ability called Iron Will that lets him attack 5 times a turn.
You can defy the greatness that is the...
But if you set it up and you get lucky with the Omni Strike, you can kind of manipulate it to where Rush does get attacked. And because he has Omni Strike ready to go, he dodges every attack until he gets his turn. Alright, so that's the first half of the bases. We're going to buy more Bracelets of Glazing. and some herbs as well. I don't want to commit. We're also going to buy an executioner for Blocker, because we do want Blocker to stick around. Blocker is the only one who can equip that Wonder Bangle we just saw. Wonder Bangle is a wonderful, wonderful item, because it essentially makes you immune to status effects by reducing debuff duration by 5. And most status effects last 5 turns. Legally distinct Bracelet of Blazing. See, I haven't tried the Android version yet of this game. I don't know how it would run. I'm a bit trepidatious at recommending it, because I don't know how, like, I have one phone that would probably play terribly because it's old and the operating system doesn't work well. But I figure on newer phones it should be fine. But it's also like, a game like this, it's hard to say how well it would play on a mobile device. If you have played it on Switch, though, I would like to hear your feedback on it, because I feel like you can kind of compare those two.
I remembered. I have no idea what you call this.
I would imagine a Switch 2 probably runs this fine, but given how the Switch kind of is, I would definitely need an on-site report for that one before I bought it.
Let's see. We have one more turn on this fight. Sometimes the game, like, you'll see a command come up over and over and over, and the game's like, you know what? Let's try something else. Let's try it without that command. And you're like, no, I want that command, because it makes the game go faster. But we're fine. This fight should end pretty quickly with them taking an attack. You never want to see it, but they do it.
Come on, let's run them down.
Get my notes ready for the next one.
Yay!
So I'm capable of learning mystic art.
The original game had a few limitations that we don't have to experience anymore. Quality of life is the best way to put it. For instance, I can turn off arts in this version of the game. You could not do that in the 360 version. You just had to go with what you had and hope that the game likes you. Another thing is you could only have 5 unique leaders, because they're leaders, in your unions at a time. And the rest had to be generic recruitables or people without flavor text in their stats, which limited how you could manage your combat capabilities, or limited what kind of teams you could set up. It's basically very restrictive for what the game offered you. It also ran a bit slower, and the DLC that you were able to purchase back then now comes with the game by default. Also the class system, yeah. It doesn't really... They did expand on the class system itself. They did not add anything in the game to tell you how to get there. Shout out to everyone who's all worked on that wiki, because there's a lot of information we would not have today if it wasn't for people spending hours and hours figuring out what the heck is going on in this game by themselves. Because the game really doesn't tell you how to get certain parts, or certain classes like Ninja. Like, for Ninja, you need a dual wield. It needs to be katanas. You need to be level 22 on dual wield, level 19 on katana weapon level, have your mystic arts levels combined higher than your item arts levels, and also have strength and intelligence at least at 59, I think. Just a whole bunch of different things.
I must surpass my mother.
We'll give that to you. We'll give that to you. Alright, 2 more bases. Yeah, it's an absurd requirement that the game just expects you to figure out. Which, I mean, there was a time when that was part of the fun, was like you got a notebook with the game you bought and you had to figure things out. But there's just so much stuff in this game that you have, like, how did I get Ordainer? What is Ordainer?
Come on, let's
You know, all of the, like, so many different questions, so many different recruits. I didn't know you could get Lasucius, I think's his name, because I never played the game past battle rank like 70 until like last year. That's a Savani unit that only shows up after you get battle rank 80. And I was like, wait. You're telling me that I get everybody so super powered up, and then this guy shows up who has like all the qualities I want in a character, but he's super weak compared to the rest of mine, and I have to do all that grinding again? Come on, game. Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you tell me about that before so I could plan ahead? And I'm perfectly okay with not having my handheld and having a rough time with the game. Like, I think that as a role-playing game, that kind of fits that fantasy of, like, put me in a world where I know nothing about and let me figure it out. We also got through that fight way quicker than we should have. Like, one of the reinforcements did not silence someone, and I'm okay with that. This is Spar last room to Grindfest. It can be a Grindfest for sure. But it doesn't force you to, like, go through a bunch of different tutorials about things you'll never use. It lets you find it out. And in some cases, that's bad, because, like, classes and whatnot. We're gonna risk this one. Oh, heck yeah, Bird Erica. Alright. Ludopay is weird. Ludopay is very weak, and we can get through him in one turn. If we don't, we're worried. Because Ludopay can also cast Galaxy, which hits everyone on the field, and he can cast it up to 3 times in one turn if I have things go bad. So far, he hasn't used it. He just possessed one of my teams, and we got a couple misses, so we got turn 2. They're just cursed. They're not going anywhere. Alright.
I have no idea what you are.
I think he's going to use Bewitch. Okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Not bad.
Goodbye, Thacker. We're okay with Thacker going down. Cursed is also a part of some of the new stuff they did compared to the 360 version. There's a command that you can get now when characters are cursed or enthralled called Cure Them Even If It Kills Them. GG's, Ludopay. That was not available in the 360. It allows you to take care of elements that require you to die to go away, and forces your team to attack your own teammate and then revive you. That is super helpful because if your entire team is bewitched and enthralled and attacking you and you can't do anything about it, it's just forced game over. And there are classes who are immune to, like, enthrall and bewitch. So, like, yeah, that's another little quality of life thing they did to kind of help specific fights in the game, like the Gates of Hell fight that I did. If you have a union that is unconscious at the end of the turn, it will enthrall that union.
Come on, let's kick some A.
So that's your way of kind of countering that. If you don't have the ability to summon a black hole every few seconds.
Gravity Galaxy, go!
Please keep your arms and hands inside of the black hole at all times.
This is not optional. Gravity will not allow you to do that.
We hope you enjoy spaghetti, or being it. I do need to menu. Because I did notice last fight there were a couple of units that had moves that I don't want them learning. So, one of the best examples, Kamupe learned Dragon Crush. That is a higher tier attack, technically, but because it is at level 1 and does not have a modifier on it, it's going to do way less damage than we want it to do. So we just take it out of the combat arts pool and force Kamupe to use redoublement. Where you stop, only Black Hole knows. Yep.
I must surpass
Okay.
my mother.
So this is our last base fight. Once we're done with that, everything's fine. After that, there's like it's just smooth sailing until the final boss, pretty much. Let's go ahead, check arts.
I am Emma
You learned to call as
Honeywell
Wrath, so we're gonna turn that off.
Checking my
You're
stats,
fine.
huh?
You're fine. You're fine.
Observe my stats carefully before making
I'm
it.
fine.
I don't have a lot of self-confidence.
Oh, I'm not worried about you too much. Okay, we're good to go. But yeah, this fight, this is Zuido. Zuido can be tough, but honestly, he's just tanky. He's got a lot of HP, especially for this part of the game. Like, one of the final bosses that you run into has 200,000 HP. This guy has like 300k or something like that. It's just a lot. The only reason he becomes dangerous is if you let the fight go on too long. He'll start using the basic form of attack for the power grip combat arts, and then escalate one level per, and use like smash, then cross break, then switch back, and then it just gets more and more powerful as he gets turns. So if you let him go too long, he'll eventually be using the best move in the game for his power weapon style every single turn. Oh, he also does that.
I'll make you remember
We'll do that.
Honeywell.
There we go.
I have no idea what you are.
Oh, yeah, the gun remnant. Unfortunately, we don't use that anymore because Blackout is a bit more consistent to get to trigger, and David just doesn't fit in our team anymore, right? So we're not really going to see the gun anymore. We now have the power of space and time on our side. But it did decent damage while it was there. And we got that Cyclops we can summon every now and then. Yeah, the idea that we're like the beastmen that show up to the fight with their little raptors. They're like, oh, we're gonna take over your town, and then David's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sound of this giant cannon charging.
Yeah. What did you say? I can't hear you over the hum of my
To great use.
bazooka go burr.
Alright, so we get a surprise boss fight here. Remember the gun we just talked about? This guy now has it. And he's gonna shoot it at us. And that noise you made was pretty spot on.
What?
Come on, finish them off.
So, story-wise, we've gotten rid of all the remnants on the bases that were causing some problems. But Wagram showed up and made our remnants go a little mad. So Cyclops has betrayed us and stole David's gun, and we have to fight them. This fight typically isn't too bad. It can go off the rails if I don't heal this turn. We're gonna do this. Just focus everyone on healing.
Here you go.
That was a good target priority for us. Cyclops hitting someone with high defense means we got all the healing we needed, and our union survived. But yeah, big man, big gun, big catastrophe happening. It's fine. We're good. And now we start turning the morale towards us a lot more. And we'll be able to survive when the next K-Bolt comes out. If it does, I don't see enough damage coming out that would stop it from occurring. I don't like all of these commands. Yeah. Main thing is, we're getting through this fight. That's guaranteed. Everyone's too tanky and too strong, except for Thacker's Union. Yep, Cyclops likes to dodge black holes. There's another dodge. I feel like Cyclops has a bit higher evasion than most of the enemies you run into. Because I never can seem to hit him consistently. Like, it's literally, no pun intended, hit or miss. Whether I hit him with a black hole. And it doesn't feel like that with any of the other enemies that you fight. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'll show you what I can do.
Like, I don't think a thing that big should be able to dodge when they're not very agile. But they look agile when they're dodging. What the heck?
Yeah.
Spinning so quickly.
Like, bosses like this need to be... It's tanky, not dodgy. That's the trick. It's when they just start spamming dodges, you're like, dude...
Like, that one.
This is the size of my wall! There's no way we missed. Nor did he dodge. I do not believe it.
So I'm going to take advantage of a really cool mechanic in this game. I have had a couple of flank attacks. But typically to flank, you need to have every deadlock spot possible filled. Well, because Liza's Union has already flanked attack, I could just pick a strike from the sides command and not have to worry about that third spot being filled. And still get the morale boost, the damage boost, all of that without really much of a risk at all.
Yay!
And that helped me get through the fight.
This is exactly what I needed.
Why did David take that? I've never seen that before. Just randomly is like, I want this item. Yeah, you can have that. You can have that.
We did have somebody on YouTube ask, is this an auto battler? Never heard of the game before. What's your explanation for what we're showing off right here?
So, it's not necessarily an auto battler like you just go into a battle and they do everything on their own. It does kind of pick specific commands for you to choose from, but you do have to choose the commands, and you do have to pay attention to like your morale. So this isn't one of those games I would say that you can go in here and just mash the button to get through, even though that's just what I did for that turn. You do have to plan ahead. You have to plan your union setups, like how your party is built. You have to plan which skills they have available, and which skills you want to take off the table. You have to buy items to make sure you have enough to heal, and if you are using Mystic Arts to heal, do you have something that'll prevent you from being silenced? It is a JRPG in the typical sense that there's a lot to go into it, but once you select the button, like in most turn-based RPGs, that's when the actions go. So I guess all that to say, no, it's not an auto battler, I suppose. I would say it's more of a strategy RPG akin to like Langrisser or like Tactics Ogre-ish, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a strategy RPG with like some... You can mildly indicate what you want your characters to do, but you don't get it like guaranteed actions.
And I do apologize for missing that YouTube chat. Thanks for getting that.
Keeping an eye on it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So we talked earlier about someone named Duker Mayan. That's Duker Mayan now. They have a giant machine that they stole from underground. And they're actually not dead. And they're on the bad guy's side, so... When we got here, that cutscene shows the Duke of Gore trying to attack Duker Mayan, and Duker Mayan doing his best impression of Cyclops and dodging every attack. And now we have to take him down. This is actually, I haven't talked about it, this fight also going really well. For the most part, these bases have been pretty smooth. And okay, yeah, we're fine. Yeah, it's so good. We're great. We're fine. But yeah, the this character can wipe you with a move called Run Amok. We're lucky that we haven't seen it yet. Like in quick succession is whenever it starts getting bad. We're gonna see it probably in next attack if he survives this. Yeah. similar to Age of Empires on like map scale sometimes, but not so much like you have to live click. That would be more like Geofield Chronicles, where it's more like a live strategy. Let's save them. Yeah, we're gonna be a little risky here because I like playing on the edge. We're gonna take the highway to the danger zone and see how it goes. And we were rewarded with no speed bumps. Let's go. Okay, so we're now on the home stretch for the speedrun.
I must.
At this point in the game, there are a very large amount of side quests that open up, and a lot of characters that you can unlock casually. So I do recommend if you get to this point in the game, go check all the cities. Check all the exits for every world map place you can go visit. Talk to as many people as you can, because even though they don't have bubbles over their head, they might give you items. They might give you side quests. They might give you access to another dungeon you haven't seen. But for us, right now, our sister passed out and was kidnapped. I don't know how that decided to be a thing. Like, instead of being kidnapped at the battle, she passed out, we take her back to the castle, and then she gets kidnapped from there. Someone left the windows open, and I think it might have been Blocked, but I'm not telling anyone. Anyway, we're gonna find her at the forest. She's taken here by the Conqueror and Wagram. And they did some kind of weird stuff to her where they kind of like turn her into a remnant thingy? I don't know. Well, like, it never makes it clear what happens because it never happens again. But she basically, we have to fight her. And she's not Irina anymore. You'll see when we get there. It's pretty pretty unique. Now, if you're starting to run this as a speedrun, I highly recommend saving before going into the next area. Which we're going to do, by the way. Because this fight can be over in a flash, or you just never get the right command and now you're attacking your own teammates. I have had this split go, I want to say the battle itself was about 40 seconds one time, and the next time it took me 6 minutes. Alright, we will save here. And here we go. So there's the angry music. Do we get Blackout? We do. I think that was right. Nope. He learned Snare Shot. Well, that's not great, but it's not the end of the world. That was the end of the world. I'm actually going to reset.
An immediate and decisive reset. Gotta respect it.
So sometimes when you're spamming through those menus at the end, it's hard to read everything that pops up, right? Your units will learn something that you don't want them to learn. That's what happened. So I thought I had a good number on AP, and then after I thought about it, after I started the turn, I was like, wait, that might not be right. It was not. Because Kademon learned Snare Shot, and that will take up way too much AP. It won't give us the Blackout command because nobody else casts. So, yeah, we'll fix that real quick. In fact, I'm going to check everyone to make sure no one has anything they don't need.
Checking my stats, huh?
Have you never laid eyes on a Subani?
Observe my stats carefully before making a choice.
Yeah, we should be good. I'm not worried about Peyton getting different commands. Peyton does play a pivotal part at the final boss fight as far as being able to tank damage, but not so much as damage itself. It's funny that I get Blackout, I don't go first, and they don't enthrall anyone when they get an attack.
I must surpass my mother.
I mean, good fight, but you know, that's RNG for you. That's how it goes. But we get through the fight. Arena joins our party again, which we want. Let's see. We do have to do a little bit of changing here, so
I will be honored to carry out this task.
I don't want you there. Okay. We're gonna have you go over here. Peyton, Luke, Kimberly. Kimberly. Liza, Thacker Faye, and then you still have Kamupe Torgal Lars. Okay. Alright, we're doing a little bit of moving around. Kamupe is going to be our big combat damage dealer from now on. So we're going to set him last. Reason being, the next few bosses that we have the ability to curse people. And if we set the unions at the end, they're less likely to go first and get cursed or like enthralled or paralyzed, so they're more likely to get like the flank attacks and everything. So setting Kamupi at the end means we're probably going to get some free big damage. It doesn't always work that way, but we kind of want it to lean towards that, so that's why that menu is super important before going here into a mountain where birds will be and that doggy that's trying to attack me. Now, I don't know if you noticed a recurring theme in this game. Birds live underground a lot more often than they live above ground in this game. So seeing them in the mountains is kind of unique and stressful for the people of this land. So anytime we see a very big bird above ground, we have to bring a little bird in with it so we can handle the stress of the big bird and like kind of make it an average stress, not like a giant stress or a little stress, you know. I know that makes no sense. It will here soon, I promise.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds some like convoluted birds are jerks line.
Oh yeah, there is a giant bird at the top of this mountain that if we fight it by itself, it is a massive jerk. So what we do is we make this guy mad. Make sure it starts moving towards us. Bring it to its big friend over here. And then we slow down time. The reason we want to do that is because we want Rush to cast Blackout as early as possible without getting cursed. And unfortunately, we did not get the good turn order, but we did get a Cyclops sighting, so I'm going to force that out. And Peyton is cursed. And immediately felt the effects of Curse. So Curse has a chance to instant KO you before you take your action.
Cool.
Now, I wanted Emmy's Union to go first and get to Curse because Blockter has the Wonder Bangle and Curse goes away next turn, regardless. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. And this fight's gonna look like it's bad. It's not. It's okay. We're managing this just fine. Emmy doing a casual 45,000 damage on her own.
Come on, let's bust some heads. You'll find no fitter opponent than I.
Ooh, okay. Here's a cool move that people might recognize. Cachexia. That move does damage and takes away all of your AP. Really fun to use on your own, not fun to use against, or when the enemies use them against you. it's also kind of like very key to have that move against certain super bosses, and it takes just an astronomical number of uses for hexes to get that move, and we don't get that move until after we get to the next city if we've done certain side quests. So that's why we don't get that move, unfortunately. Also, I like how it has like the low morale music, and we're max morale up until this point. We're actually nobody got hit. That was actually really good acid breath.
Do you require assistance?
Is this a bad one? Oh, okay. So the bird has decided to use AoE attacks that aren't hitting AoE for some reason, and I like that. And Burb is down. I saw Earthrender,
Great.
so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off before we get to the next town.
Have you never laid eyes
All
on
right.
a Savani?
We are now going to do our last shop. Okay, let it load up. Get fiery. So we had bracelets of glazing at the other place, and those are pretty good. But now we got to get the Undle wallets. Undle wallets just give us more HP than the glazing bracelets, but nobody wants to wear them, so I'm going to force Rush to wear them. And then we're going to stock up on herbs. So we have max herbs for the rest of the... Maybe I need to do one more. Yeah, we're good. For the rest of the game, we should be okay. And now we're going to go see someone called the God Emperor. The God Emperor looks to me like that one monk from Final Fantasy X that was friends with Auron. Just a little bit more detailed. And
Right.
I like him just about as much. I think he's as trustworthy. We go to the God Emperor, tell him, hey, we gotta stop the Emperor, or the Conqueror, and he's like, no, go in this teleporter instead. So we're like, okay. And we go in here and we see this place. It looks like the other one, except the lights are off.
So we do have somebody in Twitch chat asking if we grind for Blase, grinding for arts. I'd assume that's during the spider grind, or yeah.
Baise is a dragon you can run into during a certain side quest in the Crookfin. In this speedrun, we don't unlock it. We don't actually touch Baise, unfortunately. There is a Melfina route that I haven't tried yet. It's a little bit longer than what I'm used to running. And I think maybe you try to grind there, but because that fight is so long to get through and requires Mystic Seal to be more effective, we typically don't do that one. Oh, look, this is a confusing part. We typically try to stay away from Baise. This way?
Guess we're gonna figure it out.
Is it this way? Am I... It's this way. Okay, we're good.
No whammy, no whammy,
So, yeah,
no
like-
whammy.
There is a way you can kind of see how the path is supposed to go before it goes completely down like that. It's just really hard to catch and remember. And if you go the wrong way, the game opens up more paths and it's like, oh, cool, you're going the right way. Here's a wall. Turn around. And you're like, oh, okay. Which way did I come from? And then now we find a door. This door is blue. The red door we found before, where Rush remembered being there before, had a big white room. This one is a dark room with a chair. The God Emperor tells us that a remnant that had its own personality and feelings was there and started attacking everything. And Rush is like, oh, you mean the Conqueror. The Conqueror is a remnant. Hooray! So Now we know we're not just looking at the last remnants, we are fighting a remnant. A living, breathing remnant. And the whole world has decided that they're going to go along with the Conqueror, and if we do anything about it, or try to stop it, they're just going to, like, everybody's going to be against Athlon. So that's the end of the RPG. Story's over. Game over, right? No. David's like, nah, we're going to fight this guy.
David!
Rush calls
Why an
David
eye when
Daniel.
you can have... Yeah, why have an eye when you can have two E's?
So, since we decide that we're not going to lay down and let this happen, we go fight the Conqueror, who is trying to invade Illusion. This is one of the longest fights, unit-wise, in the game. And it also has a really weird, buggy, like, command section towards the end, when you find the actual boss of this fight. You can choose to close in on that boss with everybody on your team, and then the next turn, it says you're too far away to attack it. But you can attack someone who's on across the map. It's just weird. I'm hoping it won't force me to show it off, but we're probably gonna see it.
I've remembered! I have no idea what you are! You losers aren't even a challenge!
A remnant is basically a creature or device that kind of has its own mind, per se, that gives either a blessing or a curse to the people. And if it is abused or misused, it causes something called a collapse, where it summons a bunch of monsters and they go wild, basically. So they're used kind of like in 13, the Fal'Cie, or what's another example of like titans or entities? Basically, just like big things that people think of as tools, but they aren't just tools. They're supposed to work in symbiosis with the humans, or some other, like maybe they're the ones in charge. It does cover a few of those things in some of the side quests about what the whole thought process is for everyone, but more or less they're a MacGuffin for society to be able to survive. And if you have a big remnant, then you control things. As you can see, it's doing the thing where I move towards it and I can't target because it's too far away. Yeah, that makes sense, Chaos. Well, goodbye, Rush. That was not how I wanted that to go down. At this point in the game, if we lose experience on Rush, it's not the worst thing that could happen, but we don't want to see it if we can help it. In fact, I would really like you to bring him back alive. I would like somebody to attack this dragon, please. Thank you. We're not gonna... Yeah, we're gonna be getting the res here soon. I think... Okay, they did support instead of attack. So what I'm looking for is, Emmy's union is set to revive. And if a certain union goes before she does, then that means she's probably going to get interrupted and won't get the revive. Seeing that certain union go and do healing instead made me feel better about Rush getting revived for this next turn. It's kind of hard to explain how the lineup works like that. It's just kind of like the distance between who you're fighting and who you select and all this stuff does affect turn order and whatnot, but sometimes it's wonky. Like, you just kind of have to get a feel for it for the bigger fights, especially this one with the dragon glitch.
Not bad.
I think the dragon goes down here. Yes, we are good. Alright, and now the whole world thinks of us as an enemy.
Must surpass my mother.
Because we stood up to the Conqueror and we beat his forces when everyone else said we shouldn't do that. So we try to go to Illusion. I don't want you to do that. Focus on what you got. Try to go to Illusion so we can go to the Ark, because the Conqueror went to the Sacred Plains. However, he bound the ark, and we can't get in. So we have to find another way in. Well, where do we go in this game for information? When we're lost, and we're looking for something to do, Rush just has to hit up the tavern. And who's more wise than random old guy who used to stand by the sewer, who is also amicable, that we definitely only talked to once before in the game? That guy tells us we need to go to the 6th path. So we're going to the 6th path. Now, before we go too far down, we're going to do one little bit of menuing. We are going to take Krallis out and put Aquarius in. Now, we did recruit Aquarius earlier and did nothing with them. The reason being, that last battle, we didn't need them. But this one, and this one and the final one, we will need Aquarius, because Aquarius has wards. Orphic Protection, or Orphic Ward and Protection. Those will respectively negate a Mystic or a combat attack. Fully negate it. No status effects from it, no knockouts, anything like that. Just, you look like you take damage, but no numbers come up. And we will need that against this dragon we're about to fight, and the final boss, because sometimes you know you're gonna lose your unit if they take a hit. And Aquarius can help that. Plus, Aquarius can also use Bluff, which is a morale control skill, and we will absolutely make use of that against the final boss. We're going to do a quick safety save. Now, it does look like we're going a lot faster than I expected.
Let's do this.
I have no objections.
So if you're eating lunch to this, you should probably chug it down as fast as possible.
Come on, finish them off.
But this is Gojun. This is a rare monster that we are forced to encounter. Much like the Heaven's Lord we fought on the mountain. This will be the only non-boss fight in this dungeon. But it is not the only dragon we see in the next 20 minutes. There is another dragon that will yell at you and make you not move if you don't time shift past it. And I wish we could do True Conqueror. That's like an 11-hour speedrun, I think. 11 or 12 hours. And I actually think True Conqueror, with all of the boosts on it, is easier to fight than this Conqueror we're about to fight. There's not many like super boss versions that I would say, okay, I'd rather fight him than the original version I ran into. This one for sure. Mainly because it's not a fair fight. In this one has a lot more adds than the True Conqueror does. And I feel like that's way harder to handle in the final fight than any other thing that the True Conqueror could throw out. Oh yes, this dragon is a run killer for some people.
So-called noob trap.
But I brought a tree. He has taken down quite a few people, though. I don't like that.
Dragon, stop doing what we just said you do.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'd appreciate it if you stopped botching my my units. That's another thing I didn't really get to talk about, or didn't take it time to talk about. Botching. When the union leader goes down, you can't control what your union does. So like in this instance, Emmy is down, but the rest of the union is still alive. They'll generally pick their own commands, but there's like a 50-50 chance that they'll decide they can't attack because their leader's down. So it'll just say botched, can't act, and they'll just stand there. It's a very annoying thing. Sometimes they can heal themselves though, which is fun. Grinding in general isn't necessarily punished. It's how you grind. So let's say we kept staying at those bugs for about 4 or 5 days. Your battle rank is going to shoot ridiculously high, but your stats will not keep up with it. Because once you get so many battle ranks above the enemy you're fighting, your stat growth, basically all your experience, drops drastically. So it's not that the game punishes grinding, because it doesn't. It punishes you when you don't pick the right spot to grind at. So if you constantly pick on weaker enemies, instead of going for enemies that have about the same battle rank as you or stronger than you, it'll be perfectly fine. You'll steamroll through the rest of the game like it's nothing. But let's say you started grinding just in the first dungeon, over and over and over and over, going out and in. By the time you get to the first boss, the battle rank will be so high that you don't have the ability to get the stats you need to catch up to it without progressing the story. So while this game is notorious for being, it hates grinding, it honestly will reward grinding if you do it in the right spots, but the game doesn't want you to have to grind. Casually, if you just fight every monster you see all the way through, like you were picking up the game for the first time and going through each dungeon, fight every single monster you see without going back and forth through the area, you should be, theoretically, at the proper level and battle rank for everything to still give you experience and a challenge, but also not just destroy you. Absolutely, yeah. It was split between the Final Fantasy and Saga team working on this. They did take a lot of inspiration from Saga, which I love. I'm super happy about it. I really find that battle system and level system very, very cool. But so yeah, it's like that in the sense where if you just stick on spiders and bugs for the entire game and grind 100 battle ranks, you're not going to get enough stats as a reward to match the battle rank for the rest of the game. So in a way, it's more of a self-handicap / challenge thing. Oh, this is not good. Okay, we're fine. So those little things can float around and do stuff. She got really close to the turn, and if she sees me, she can yell and paralyze me. That one didn't see me, that's good. Sorry for the camera, I just have to keep an eye on things and try to manipulate a few things. There's one more, isn't there? Okay, we're good. A little bit stressful there. We're gonna go ahead and do another safety save. I typically don't save here, but this boss fight is kind of like the mirror to the first to the Fiery Idol. And it's called the Icy Idol. I don't like this boss. This boss, you can typically take down in 2 to 3 turns. If you take longer than that, the fight becomes a slog of just trying to stay alive. Because it snowballs. First turn is not a bad thing at all. It just uses Impale, maybe Curse. Has some weird noises. All that stuff. Second turn, it starts out with Acid Rain, which hits everyone. It can also use Maelstrom Insignia, which hits everyone. It can also use Desperate Wail, which reduces your morale. And it just explodes from there. You end up not doing any damage to it. It does all of the damage. I think we got good turn order here. So I think we're fine. Yeah, and there are different places, like the Baizé that was mentioned earlier is a good place to grind. Especially if you're working on art levels. Because you can use the Mystic Seal once you get past Underwall. Hey! I see Idol went down quick, goodbye! That was actually a really fun fight. But you can use Baizé to grind your arts, and especially, like, I love using Baizé for item arts. And Cachexia grinding is also a place where people go. Like, I will say, if you ever do the grind in Crookfin, be very careful. That map, if you walk away and, like, let's say you go to the bathroom for a few minutes, that map will start dropping the frame rate ridiculously fast. You will have a bad time for the rest of the time you play it until you turn off your console. Let's see, Kamupe. Okay, we need to get rid of all of those. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a hopefully quick menu. Let's see, Faye, Peyton, Kimberly. Liza, Thacker, Lars, Faye, Peyton, Kimberly, Whoope, Aquarius, Jorgen, and we're all good there. Check my arts.
Consider well the strength of the entire party.
So there's a big change in how we set up our units now. We are putting Torgal in the Mystic Union. The main reason we do that is because he has a lot of health. So we want our team to live. And he can also use Mystic Missile, so that does help a little bit. Turning this on, okay. And now we get our sister to activate this random arc that was down here. And then we go towards the final boss. Yeah, if I will say, if you want to play this game casually, experience it casually first. Without, like, I would say don't worry about trying to find everything your first run through. Just go in, have fun. And then with New Game Plus, you get to carry over your money that you've gained and spent, all of your consumables at the end, your formations, your arts that you've learned, like the base arts for each one for Rush. Those all get carried over. And you can start out, like, planning your build for magic or for items or whatever you want for the next run. Then I would say, use a guide to try to find, like, the side quests and all the stuff that you missed. Because you can play this New Game Plus over and over and over, and then eventually get your file to where you want it, like, oh, I can start this and be super powered, and then play hard mode. Which is hard. It really is hard. It's not just, they're not just saying hard, it's difficult.
Mildly challenging. Hard.
I wouldn't even... I went into one of the first fights with, like, some of the best weapons that you can start out with, dual wielding, and I had to reset like 10 times because I was just my hubris. The enemies tend to have, like, less HP, but they hit way harder. But right now, what we're looking at is the Sacred Lands Part 3. We're here again, but there's monsters here. So this means we're obviously in a different place, a different dungeon. Probably the final dungeon. It's got some pretty cool background music that we never hear anywhere else in the game, which kind of makes me sad. There's a giant bird. If you're playing this on PC, use time shift to get past that bird. On consoles, you can shift or sprint past them before they become, like, that wing becomes a hitbox. In PC, it's much more dangerous. And that is also a good point, Immortal. The enemies here can be used to grind. They are a bit tough, but they're good for stats before getting to the Conqueror. And if you take your time to get some of the treasure chests, there's some actually really good items here as well. A good katana, like a long katana, large katana called the Demon Slayer, or the Demon Blade, is is something that can instantly KO mobs. There is a dragon here that will yell at me. I'm gonna wait for a second, time shift past it. It probably wasn't gonna yell that time. But we don't take risks. The eyeballs are pretty decent, plus they drop decent components that you can use for creating good weapons. Okay. We are on the last little walkway that will lead us to the last little walkway before the boss. So, there's a lot of RPGs that have like, this is what the final boss is gonna do, and then here's how we counter it. Or this is what, this is the cheese strat we use to make sure we get through this fight when something goes wrong. I have none of that. We don't have that. Like, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna save, and we're probably gonna see this door 2 or 3 times. That's how I look at every single final boss fight on any of these runs. Because the final boss itself isn't difficult per se. It's the randomness at which the boss can act. There are a few very unfair mechanics to this fight. That you can do nothing about except hope you don't start that part of the fight in a bad situation. The first one being right after the Roas and Castanea part. Yes, we see them again. They make their second appearance in this run, third in the game if you play some of the side quests. We don't get... I'm gonna have you guys stand back. Okay, and... yeah. So similar to the first battle with these bad guys, we want Roas to kind of be off to the side. And we use, like, Peyton to kind of take over that.
We're counting on you.
Castanea still has Kilo Hit, still has Catapult capabilities. Hammer Spin is there. They also have end-of-turn AoE attacks. And the first one will be used right here. Delta Petra. I think Kamupe is going down. Liza as well, yeah. I figured that. We're going to go ahead and... we're going to have Rush just kind of stand there. Now, Roas is going to use another AoE attack after this turn. That, depending on how Rush's turn goes, is probably going to take out Rush. Yeah, this is... okay, it's just an attack. We're good. We're actually fine.
I'll destroy.
And she will destroy us with Tao Tai. Okay, now we are going to have you hurry and heal them. Let's do this. We're going to keep your HP up.
I've remembered.
Do we have... no, we don't. I really want to see lower their morale as a command for Kamupe. Because it will enhance my survivability. Huh. Okay. So one good thing about this turn, we don't get AoE'd at the end. I think it's like every 2 turns after they use their AoEs, then it'll start to do the AoEs again. But before that, they're pretty much fine. Defensive support is Orphic Ward. Yeah, we're gonna do Orphic Ward. Alright, so Phase Coalition goes down. Magic will not affect us. We get a block, that's awesome. Castanea is crit, that's great. Love to see it. We're gonna res. Okay, this is fine. So just like the fight we had earlier at Nest of Eagles, when one of these characters go down, the other one will use overdrive and get 5 attacks in a turn, right? Except they use it every turn in this fight. So that's kind of playing into the reason why we want Roas to stay alive, because Roas will receive 1 person they can attack, and then after that they can be flanked. We're gonna hang in there, meaning that they'll take out 1 union, and then every other union can attack for free. Goodbye, Kamupe. You did well. So we're gonna try to keep her alive while we knock down Castanea. That worked out great. Rush is gonna probably die then. And I'm a little bit worried because of that mechanic I was talking about that's unfair. So once we take down Roas, no matter what we have queued up, the Conqueror will come out right away, do an attack on someone, and then do an AoE attack. Like 4 turns at a time. So I'm taking it a little bit safe here, just in case this doesn't go down. Okay. So here comes Christopher Sabat's the Conqueror. Immediately goes into do an attack, takes someone out, and casts Blackout on me. That's fair. Okay. Well, I surely can't have any unfair things at this point. So what we'll do is... I don't like that. Turn order. That's fine. Gonna keep HP up. Oh, also, he gets to summon a friend. So now it's 2v4. And he gets another turn. Dude gets 4 turns before I get 1. Alright, but we did get Talisman's Gift off. What that means is physical attacks shouldn't affect Rush for a little bit. The Conqueror just 1-hit KO'd Faye. And also Palsy Scheme just took out an entire Union. We did have some preemptive healing going on. We're going to bring them back because that's rough. I'm also going to do that there. Can I switch? Yeah. Alright. Nomal Narram is here too. So we have 3 bad guys that we have to work with. One of them just does mostly single target. Nomal Narram has AoE, and then there's the Conqueror who has 1-hit KO capabilities, AoE capabilities every other turn, and is just mean. Now, if you're playing all the side quests through the game and you get the side quests involving Nomal Narram and Lob Omen done, the Conqueror will not summon them. So the true Conqueror, in my opinion, is much easier than this guy. But we do get Blackout here, so that's good. We are going to save them no matter what. We're going to turn it around there. I just kind of want them to go down so they can get rezzed. Because we don't get any of our morale manipulation with Aquarius being down, and it's making the fight a little bit scary for me. Well, we just used Final Flash.
I owe you.
There's the AoE attack from Nomal Narram, which knocked out 2 unions. That's a reset.
Oh.
It happens.
Everything's going good. That's a reset. Okay, I guess we'll be here for another 20 minutes. Got it. You said it was going to happen before stream.
It
you
It's
know,
something that definitely occurs. If I had Aquarius alive doing morale manipulation, we'd be fine. We'd still be fighting. But as soon as I pointed it out, the game was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and wipe you real quick with everyone."
yeah, computers feeling cute might just nuke the enemy party today. Oh, great, thanks.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna go ahead attack there. We still didn't get that. Okay. But we did get the morale on turn 1. Let's go. What I want to see here, to make this go much safer, would be a Cyclops summon. Definitely didn't want to see that.
Keep it together.
We should be fine though. I don't think anyone goes down here. Oh look, there's the best music in the game in my opinion. We're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna have you resurrect.
I've remembered. I have no idea what you are.
And you just stay alive. Yeah, in this speedrun, the game can do that. Casually, you can expect that too if you go into a fight that you're not like... You're like, oh, I'm just gonna do this fight, and suddenly there's 2 giant birds and a colossus there, and you're like, oops, I'm entirely cursed and everyone's dead. Okay, bring them back, hang in there. I kind of wish you would reassess to protection. I think Liza's out of the way. Okay, we're fine, we're good. This will be a full heal for those 2. And then we get the rest. Awesome. We will get raid locked, which doesn't matter because we're at minimum morale anyway. They're going down. Okay. You do this. And yeah, we'll play it safe. I could take a risk and have Liza go over and punch Castanea, but there's a chance that we'll lose a res if I do that.
You okay?
Yes, it does. Stop asking me that. Okay, we're black hole. Yeah, black hole. You keep your HP up. You hurry and heal them. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, we dropped Roas first. That's a little scary. But doable. Just makes this part a little slower. Okay, who do I want to stay down? We'll do this. Oh, well, we kind of have to. Dang it. Okay, we can see how Overdrive can turn a fight into a massacre. But I hope we don't.
Again?
Please stop.
Game, please!
I think we're okay. They did the strike from the side. Okay. Okay. This could be manageable, but we did lose a lot of damage potential for the next turn. Okay, they blocked that. We're okay. Let's see. You will do that. In there, do that. Okay. Alright, so the Conqueror is bringing out his favorite toys, and then knocks down my friend. And then we get raid locked. They get paralyzed.
What is this being?
We're gonna bring back support.
Die.
Palsy Skin's probably gonna wipe. Nope, never mind, we got Orphic Ward out. So, a lot of times this fight will go bad. The main focus in the Conqueror fight isn't so much about like, oh, this is how powerful my team is, this is, like, I know the strats inside and out, because the Conqueror's just gonna do what he wants, whenever he wants. There's literally nothing you can do about that. The main key for survival here is learning how to mitigate whenever it does go out of control. Try to keep it in control, and then if it can't be brought back into control, then learn how to be lucky. Being lucky is about, I want to say, 20% of this fight. The rest is learning when you should go for damage and when you should focus everyone on healing, because sometimes it may look like you want to heal when you should probably just defend instead, take some damage, and let things happen.
Let's kick some ass.
Okay, we got a bunch of damage. We have everyone deadlocked. We are going to see an AoE attack here. And we survived it. Let's go. Okay, hang in there. I do not want to do Talisman's Gift. That would guarantee that Rush survives, but I want to get that damage out. We're going to go for this. We live with 12 HP. Let's go. Can't tell me what to do. Alright, and we still don't have the morale to take them out. Okay, Rush is down. Nomal Narram is low. Okay, that's not an AoE attack, so I'm happy. Bring him back. I'm gonna do some status element clearing. Actually, let me get this. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. I love that Blocker just stood there and didn't revive the other dead unit. Like, the reassessment didn't come out. He was like, no, this is fine.
I don't know. That's how the way I found him. I just assumed he was always dead.
Huh.
I thought he became complementary with the battlefield. He's just set dressing.
Okay. So, right now, we're in a bit of a pickle.
Not again. I want to be a cucumber, not a pickle.
Pickle has turned more into a cucumber.
Hey!
And we didn't get raid locked, so that actually... Well, we'll get raid locked, but we didn't get it that time. No, we're good, actually. Let's go. But we do have a lot of status effects right now. It's a little scary.
Feels like this game is a lot of, like, hold your tongue just right and hope. Yeah. There's some amount of level of control you have, and then there's a certain point where you're just like, you know, maybe if I hold A and up, it'll catch the Pokemon. There's no benefit to not doing it.
Alright, I want to get rid of Loboman. We did that. Good stuff. Okay, so now it's just the Conqueror. I say just, like, the individual cannot just one-hit KO me.
Like, it's just an ad, don't worry about it. Not the main
well,
boss.
there's a one-hit KO right there, let's go.
Terminated. That
Okay,
was some
so
Resident Evil level kill, too. Head split, blood splurt, done.
So we are going to be looking for a couple of checkpoints here that are visual kind of signs that we're getting farther into the fight. First one we're looking for is Savage. The Conqueror will drop his sword and will start punching us instead of swinging a sword at us. He loses a lot of his chance to one-hit KO us, but he gains a couple of other moves that can hit more AoE. So it's like a little bit of a trade-off. You lose the guaranteed one-hit KO, but now you're probably going to get hit harder. But we do want to see that because that means we're closer. Let's go with you. Hang in there. Okay. Jorgen learned how to use a herb that can heal 600 instead of 450. We also have a lot of silence going on for our status effects, which severely cripples our ability to mitigate morale. And you know what? I'm just gonna stick with y'all, actually. Here we go. So, Kamupe's squad going down, when it did, was actually okay, because silence was just lasting way too long.
I mean, that's the best way to remove status effects, just dying, right?
Yeah. But typically this fight, even in one go, will go about 15, 16 minutes. Sometimes 20 if you're having bad luck. We're going to bring them back. Can I bluff, please? I would like Aquarius to bluff. Goodbye. Aquarius did not get the bluff.
Request denied. Resubmit the paperwork.
So, because our morale is so low consistently, a lot of the commands that Rush is going to get that are yellow will be defensive commands. We would like to see Omni Strike. I don't think we're going to see it this fight based on what I've been seeing, but still possible. We're not going to say no, or never say never, you know.
Gotcha.
I will say never to getting morale mitigation, though, because Aquarius is not getting that command. But we're kind of back in the driver's seat now. We're now, everyone's alive. We're gonna get AoE'd soon, but for now we can do damage, and we've got enough HP that it shouldn't be a big deal for most of our unions. And we've dodged quite a few attacks, so that's nice. There we go. More black hole, more side. Aquarius learned Smash, it appears, so they're doing physical attacks.
Critical defense. Yeah.
Perfect. Lock. That was a really good string of attacks because we took no damage. And here's the AoE, Delta Petra. Not too worried about that. We'll do that.
Just summon Meteor, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Why are we not getting... Oh, there we are. We are at the 50% health mark. So, we're likely to see an attack called Crimson Flare after this turn. That is where the Conqueror yells, and a bunch of red fireballs fly around all over the place. It's no different than like Whiteout. I think it can burn you, but that's about it. So it's like Whiteout, Blackout, Delta Petra, all the other AoEs we've seen. But it's also in the remastered and PC versions, you can learn that. You could not do that on the original 360 version. Let's bring him back. So in this game, if you max out your I think it's evocations up until you get grenade impact with 5 people, and they all cast grenade impact at once, it will cast Crimson Flare. That's a ridiculous amount of AP and also grinding, so I've never seen it.
You can learn the boss's super move, but it also takes like a bazillion years, so...
Yeah. So we got a little unlucky there with Animal Kill coming out right after Crimson Flare. So we got some status effects and we lost a few people. Luckily, it looks like the status effects will be no problem, because everyone who had a status effect died.
Like I said, best way to heal it is die.
And I could go for... Oh, wow. I was about to say I could go for a faster strat, but I'm going to play it safe, and then he immediately punched Rush to death. And we lost our ability to use Blackout. Oh, and they died trying to heal people. That's cool. But now we're bringing them back to life. I don't think he's that far away from the critical HP, if I'm being honest. I think we're almost there.
Seems like this is always a tense final fight, huh?
Oh, yeah. One of my last runs, I suddenly started doing almost hundreds of thousands of damage per turn. And I was like, wait, am I going to get a skip that I don't ever expect to get? And I did. And the skip is called Photon Field Skip, which I think we got one more turn before it comes out. Photon Field means you can't hurt the Conqueror for 3 turns unless it's a critical hit. And if that comes out, you just kind of have to choose to heal and avoid taking direct damage if you can. But for most fights, that will come out and it'll be really tense because you have to focus on survival. Quite unlike we've been doing this entire time, right? We did get morale boost, so this is an attack that will not hurt us too bad. Everyone's in the red. After I said that,
there was a sick part of me that wanted to see us get wiped off of that, just for the sheer hubris of it. This won't hurt us too bad. Entire party gets wiped. Well, that's never happened before.
So, the Conqueror did use Photon Field. As you can see, every time I attack, he dodges. Unless it's a crit, it's not going to hit him at all. Hey, there's a crit.
Hang in there, okay?
But it's a very weak one. This might actually hit. No, I didn't. Never mind. Wishful thinking. We're going to kill the others. We're going to try to hit with Rush and this team, apparently, because they don't want to do anything else. And we'll just get the morale from there. Pogus with a big 4K of counter damage. Counter damage works weird in this game, because if you do like 2,000 damage with a regular attack, it'll do 10,000 damage with a counter. So Pogus is incredibly physically weak. Like, you'll just do like a regular counter attack, no special skill or anything, and just swing your sword, and boom, you just hit someone ridiculously hard. Alright, this should be the last turn that Photon Field is active. and then we are going to get an AoE attack.
We'll get plenty, apparently.
Yep, that's photon field. It basically puts his dodge rate at 99%.
I'm like, what am I seeing here? This is some of the most awful luck I've ever seen.
Yeah, whenever photon field comes out, I typically just I'm like, okay, just find a way to survive the next 3 turns, because you're not gonna hit for the most part. You can get lucky and hit there.
Defender heal, that's pretty much the options you want to go with.
Yeah.
When we attack, if you need to build AP or something. However that works.
And there we go. That is the Conqueror down after he punched half of my team into oblivion. It always feels good to get through that fight because it is just massive RNG. At some points, you're just like, oh, come on, let me get one hit in, and a lot of the runs I've seen before will get a Cyclops pool.
So is that time?
No, time for the speedrun would be after the credits, but we can do time right now if you want. I'm down to just say time.
I mean, I guess you gave us a 4:15 estimate. We got 5 minutes we can yap for sure.
Okay. Well, we'll go through the credits. It lets you see some of the scenes that we skipped, so good little animation there. But yeah, the fight itself, it's if you get a Cyclops, I've seen it so many times on other runs, it makes the Conqueror so much easier because you have that one extra ad that takes over the fight for you. I never get him. I never see him, so I have to figure things out on the fly all the time, and I'm just like, well, why would I want to, back in the day, I used to be like, why would I want to use BR Shield or Strengthen Your Defenses, which is a move that most of your Cavaliers and your Mystic Knight classes will have. Because of me not getting the Cyclops, I tried those moves out. Whenever your characters defend, they take a lot less damage, and your other characters on your team, that if they're healers, they'll typically reassess to heal. So using that and tanking attacks, can help change the way that the fight goes. However, it is unfortunate with the speedrun, we kind of have to have Emmy and Irina be the revival union too, so we had a lot of knockdowns in that fight, and they weren't really able to show off their shield strength. All that to say, yeah, you have to sometimes learn how to play without the Cyclops, learn how to play without the defense, learn how to manage your morale without using morale managing skills. That whole fight was not optimal at all. Even the one before that looked like it was going to be okay. Boom, one shot, everything's over. It feels unfair sometimes if you're just starting, but I promise you, it ends up becoming a what's the word? A
trial.
Stockholm syndrome
kind of thing. Yeah,
it ends up becoming a Stockholm
It's a little
syndrome
bit different than what I was thinking, but yeah.
You start to learn to enjoy that the game can do that, because eventually a speedrun will become oh, I just push buttons like this, I have this item, the game is basically done. And this game has some aspects to it like that. Starting after the grind, you feel like the game's just, you're steamrolling, but then the game's like, hey, guess what, I'm still here. RNG shows its head, and it gives you a little bit more of something to work with. Even though you're overpowered and you're just steamrolling through these lower bosses, you still have to think about how you're going to take on that final boss. And I'm sure there's still strategies out there that would make this run 10, 20, 30 minutes faster, that I just haven't found yet, or nobody's found yet. Maybe if we get more people into it, they'll find something new.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so cool about this game. Even casually, there's so many things you can do that's different. So many characters you can put in your unions. So many weapons that you can make Rush use, and gear that you can create. Speedrunner, no. I do want people to play this game. It's fun. The music's great. So check it out.
Yeah, I got your feeling on that. There's a lot of these older games that get played a lot less that everybody's like, oh, I'm looking for something new to play. But look back. Just look back. You can find a lot of cool stuff in the catalogs, man. Just gotta get a recommendation.
Also, would it be possible to share like the Discord link?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and if you want to share it in the chat or Twitch.
Okay. Let me go ahead and grab that up. The reason I want to share it is it's not as active as I think it deserves to be, especially for people like Atma1 and Board Erica doing so much research on this game, learning different things. Where's the invitation thing? Oh, here we go.
Yep.
And there's a couple side servers, like, you know, you can talk about anything you want to here, like in the side servers, but there are so many lists that Board Erica has put up as far as evasion goes, dual wielding weapons, like all sorts of different things you wouldn't even think about that can help you optimize your gameplay. The wiki has a lot of people that has people in this Discord that have worked on that wiki. Also check out the speedrun.com leaderboards for the resources there. Zephyr's guide is what I use to get into this because it is a much easier to follow guide. And Felvisage, their run within the last year, was the one that I've heavily taken influence from on this run to try to cut down my time even more. There's a lot of resources out there. There's just not enough people talking about it, and I think this game deserves a lot of love. So come say hi to us.
Sounds good, sounds good. Well, on the flip side, I guess I'll remind you all that we do have the main event for RPG Limit Break coming up. Pull up my little pamphlet here again so I can give you guys the right time and date. So, remember our event dates will be May 17th to 23rd. We'll be streaming those on both YouTube and Twitch like we are right now. And we'll also we still have our event registration and hotel booking open up to the April 19th and hotel booking to the 23rd, just in case you need a little bit of a time in between the two.
They're waiting for me.
We do also have our prize submission open all the way up till May 3rd. Anything you'd like to submit would be greatly appreciated. We're always looking for prizes. Small, big, nice. Small, big, and everything in between. But I think that's about it for this show today. You have any last bid farewells before we raid out and sneak in a recording that you guys might be able to check out after the next event?
Real quick, I do want to say, Sid, thank you. Ashen, thank you so much for putting this together and giving me a chance to showcase this. I do want to shout out the Discord and all the people in the speedrun leaderboards for this game for being super cool about me reaching out and annoying you about stuff. Mom, thank you if you're watching. I love you. Hope you feel better soon. And don't forget your Dr. Pepper's in the freezer. And then my roommate, Lemon Bat. And that's about it. Yeah, have a great Easter, and I love y'all.
All right. See you guys next time.